Yo, word to your mama, word to your daddy, word to your sons and daughters.
Yeah, let me just check the
And
levels.
your pets.
Yeah, welcome everybody to another exciting installment of the Terrorisk podcast. This one's actually a special episode because it's going to be my birthday episode.
Isn't it your birthday episode?
Yeah, it's my birthday's not till another 2 hours or so.
Are we going to do this for 2 hours? Is that the plan?
We usually do it for 2 hours. What do you
But
mean?
I'm saying, like, are we straight up just going to go until it's your birthday? Are we going to, like...
I'm not even really thinking. It just happens to be my birthday. I was just gonna. Well, usually what I do nowadays is I'll go for an hour, and then we'll take a pee break or something, and then come back on the mic. And I usually leave it like recording when I do take a break because I could just like on the waveform look at this flat line, and I'm like cut that, and So
okay, so you could do some time traveling towards the birthday.
Oh, time traveling. You want to start with the heavy topics? Okay,
No.
we could talk about time traveling.
Okay, what do you got to say about the time traveling?
Time traveling.
It may
time
already
traveling.
have been your birthday in the future. Who knows?
Or in an alternate parallel universe, there is me that's already 33 and already past. Yeah. Like parallel universes aren't linear time wise, right? Well, I mean, I wouldn't know. I've never went to a parallel, or have I?
Yeah, have you?
Yeah. So, time travel. I am of the belief that if you did quote unquote travel through another point in time, you wouldn't be on the same timeline anymore. You would create an alternate timeline. I mean, that's one way a lot of like fiction handles it. I look at it as if like it's not just one straight line and you're going backwards or forwards in that straight line. What you're doing is you're transporting yourself to a whole nother parallel universe that's just like yours, except it happens to be like X amount of time before your own universe, you know?
Yeah, that's the like Back to the Future time travel mechanism, right?
I think they're all kind of like that.
No, some are linear. Some are like you can't cause a time paradox because time is linear. If you go back, you have to chronologically,
Yeah, but those are the dumb ones.
Are they?
I mean, the only way to reconcile the single timeline one is if
You just don't fuck it up.
Well, you got to make it a loop.
Yeah. Well, no, because that's the paradox.
Yeah. Wait, what do you mean?
Because the common example is someone travels back in time and gives you a book, right? And this book like teaches you how to make the time machine, right? So you make the time machine, and then you have to go back in time to give someone the book so they could make the time machine, aka you in the past. But then who originally ever made the book?
That's true. And I don't think those loops ever happen explicitly like, oh, I got to go back in time and actually deliver this book. Otherwise, I'm not going to ever exist and the loop will be broken. I think it's more like a different reason they have to go back in time.
Well, regardless, I'm saying like...
They're forced to by fate, essentially, to...
Yeah, no, but I'm saying like, where would the original book have come from? If you were ever only given it by your future self, like, yeah, you would need like an alternate reality where you created the book before you shipped it back.
There has to be a prime.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
A prime event, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that honestly just makes me think of Terminator, right? Because you had John Connor, who basically grew up trained to be a resistance leader against the machines, and then he sent back a guy in time to protect his mother, knowing Skynet was trying to kill his mom so that he would never be born. So then on some level, he would have had to know that the guy he sent back was his father.
No, because that's the paradox.
So he didn't know that was his father.
I don't know. Honestly, it's been a minute since I watched Terminator.
Okay, so in the first movie, it's about Sarah Connor. She's just this normal...
No, yeah, I know the plots. I just don't remember like the fine details.
Well, all right. So the details are like, Sarah Connor was in the first movie. She meets John Connor's father, Kyle Reese.
Yeah.
Kyle Reese was just a random resistance soldier who was serving under John Connor.
Right.
He gets sent back in time by John Connor to protect his mom because they find out that the Terminator was sent back in time to kill Sarah Connor.
Right.
Now, the question here is, did John Connor know who his father was when he sent back Kyle Reese in time? And the only hint to that is in the end of the first movie, I think, where Sarah Connor was driving pregnant and she was recording on a tape recorder and she was like, all right, I'll tell you about your father.
Right. Yeah, so then it's like he would have had to complete the loop for that to have happened.
So the question is, did John know who his father was when he sent him back in time? I don't know.
Well, the question is, has there ever been a reality where the Terminators didn't try to kill him and this didn't happen? Right? There cannot be, because then he would never be born.
Well, that's why the Terminator movies got really messed up, because now they didn't, they deviated from that singular timeline or time paradox theme, and they moved to multiple
right
alternate timelines and hopping around.
That's why I'm saying sometimes the singular timeline with no paradoxes is the cooler option, because then you got to be really tight with your writing.
So it has to be that's the only way to be tight then, right? Is with the paradox. Like you can't
paradox yourself. You just have to make sure your time travel is kosher, more or less. Though most people never pull that off.
Yeah, I mean it's possible. Like
no, like there's moves. I mean, did I tell you my thoughts on future prediction ever?
No.
Okay, so generally speaking, future prediction is fundamentally a paradox, right? Because, okay, let's say I'm a fortune teller, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're gonna get hit by a car, right? And then you're like, oh shit, and then you look out for cars and you get hit by a car.
Yeah.
Right? Would you have done that if I had not told you? Like, did I alter your future by changing it? Right? Or on the other hand, I'm like, you're going to get hit by a car, and then you're looking out for cars, and you don't get hit by a car. I'll be like, well, did I save you from getting hit by a car? Well, would you have gotten hit by a car, like, if I didn't tell you?
The real question
How would you know?
The real question is, like, the efficacy of your fortune-telling abilities. Like, where does that come from? Is it real in this scenario? Like, is it...
Well, I'm saying this is part of the question. The problem with future prediction is that giving someone a prediction changes the future, right? Because now they can act on the prediction.
Yes.
So the only way you can predict the future, or rather, I would argue, your ability to predict the future is at odds with your ability to change the future, right? Like, you have a much easier time predicting a future if you do not interact with the things you're predicting.
Yeah, no, that's true. Okay, so I know what you're saying. And would I take that as... Because this really does bring in the principle of causality, right?
Well,
Cause and effect.
Well, it's also feedback.
Yeah. So it's pretty much like internal or externalized causalities. Like if it's one thing to be to predict your own future, right? But it's
very different, yeah.
But it's another thing entirely to predict someone else's future.
Yes.
And when you predict your own future, there's no real degree of separation, you know?
None at all.
But when you predict someone else's future, there's 1 degree of separation. So
there's as many degrees of separation as you want.
Yeah. So when you relay that prediction across 1 degree of separation from you to another person, you could argue that itself is an act of disrupting causality, right?
Well, yeah.
So
just knowing the information can change their whole future.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, I totally see that. I look at that as it has to change. If you tell someone their future by nature has to change. Unless
they like fully, completely ignore you.
or if you just don't say anything. Well, now the question is, if you don't say anything, what'll happen?
Probably that's what I'm saying. That's when you could actually watch your prediction play out.
Yeah. So I look at that as I think consciously our minds are limited to how much causality we can see before an event happens. Like when you see an event happen already, you could break down all the causes. You could like look at one main causality and break that down into further, like C1, C2. I wrote about this before. Like, you could break that down into further causalities, which is what smart people are supposed to do. It's the stupid people that, you know, look at outcomes and they only hyper focus on one cause, or they want something to happen and they only hyper focus on one causality that'll lead to that outcome, when a smart person really knows that it's always multiple causalities that lead to any outcome. In fact, if there's an outcome and you don't understand why it happened, it's not because it was pure chance. I mean, the great illusion is that things just happen for no reason. No, that's not true. I mean, as fucked up as it sounds, everything happens for a reason. It's true. I mean, they may not be personal reasons to you, but there's still a reason that causes it to happen. Just because we don't understand the causality, just because our brains...
The problem is like drawing the boundaries around a multifaceted set of causalities is tricky.
Because what are you going to do? Break it down to the subatomic level onto the quantum level? You know,
like you don't know what's relevant.
Exactly.
Actually, that reminds me of another thing.
But I do think it is a spectrum. For example, you could go way ahead in breaking down the causality way too far into the subatomic level, or you could not break it down enough. It's like once you find that sweet point where you could break down the causalities enough to actually have tangible control, especially over predicting future outcomes. If that's your goal, then you have to find that sweet spot of going from just one big cause to your desired outcome to not like fucking, if only this electron never made contact with this electron, then this would have never happened. You know, like you got to avoid that.
Well, I mean, that's
the schizo's problem. The schizo's problem is they break it down too far in terms of causality. And
I was gonna say there's another fun thing. Like I was almost gonna I'd want to write an essay that goes like this. It's basically like the framing issue, where it's like, okay, let's say a person gets killed by a cop. Why did they get killed by a cop? Well, what happened was the bullet entered his body and fucked up all his organs.
If only that bullet, if only the bullet manufacturer fucked up that one bullet, then maybe that guy.
Exactly. And it's like, okay, why else did it, like, you know, you could zoom out and be like, well, you know, the firing pin in the gun hit the powder and shot the bullet.
Or it's like the manufacturer put together the frame, put the firing pin in its place.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's like, okay, well, to zoom out further, it's like, okay, well, the cop aimed at the guy and pulled the trigger.
In 1913, Heckler & Koch secured a contract.
Yeah, you can see where this is going.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, you know, where
does it end? Exactly, and it ends with God.
No, but I'm saying, like, where you draw the frame in the causality chain, right? You could go all the way to like, well, the cop grew up in an abusive neighborhood and that gave him anger issues.
Maybe that's maybe that's a problem that autistic people have too. Maybe the real cure to drawing the proper frame, you know, around like breaking shit down.
The whole point, the whole trick is, you know, every single frame is truth.
Yeah.
Right? Like, at no point are you lying about any of it. Like, it's all valid. It's just, it might be contextually irrelevant.
Yes.
Right? Like, if
concerning past events, yeah, especially.
Well, you know, if you're a cop and you're trying to figure out who murdered someone.
Past events, yeah.
Be like, well, what, like, you know, why did he die? Well, the bullet hit him in the thing. Is like not necessarily relevant, as opposed to like, well, this guy probably wanted to shoot him because he had a thing.
Well, then it's
right.
Then it's a matter of questioning. You have to ask the right question. You have to be like, well, why did the guy kill him?
Well, on the other hand, though, you could be like, well, the bullet shot him like this. And then you could be like, well, that kind of shot can only occur from like a window, which means the guy in front of him could not have done it.
That's
right?
true. Yeah.
So, like, you could just cut it up in like
infinite, or branches out into
like
infinite
it's like infinite
causalities.
Like, yeah, but they're all true, right?
Yes.
So that's like. But there's also infinite false ones, obviously, right? Like you could get it wrong.
Let me ask you something. Here's a what you just described. How like the scenario where the detective is like trying to. Now let's go back to your first example with the fortune teller.
Yeah.
Like, can you reverse that process? Like, instead of looking at like an event that already happened and then breaking it off into infinite causalities, is it possible to look at what's let's say you have a goal in mind, right?
Yeah.
But then you forget that goal. It's like, all right, let's forget about that, right? Like, instead of reverse engineering from the goal, you start from as bottom up as possible. Like, you look at the most
project causality forward, given a set of circumstance.
And no.
Can you
Specifically,
play
the
them out?
circumstances you are most in control of, also like that you have the most agency over. Because we can't like alter like gun manufacturers' decisions. We can't alter.
Or maybe we can.
Maybe we can't. Exactly.
Well, that's the thing. Right now, I think part of the problem is we have so many options, right, to alter so many things.
So the real skill is in how to collapse those things properly. Into
I don't
the
even
design.
know. Like, All right,
how about this? Like winning for me.
let me give you an example.
I have an
right?
example.
Well, let me try one first, right? Like in the past, you could not alter a gun manufacturer's thing because you'd have to, take a wagon to the gun factory and be like, yo. Nowadays, you could go on LinkedIn, find like a factory worker in the gun thing, message them would be like, yo, I'll give you like $1,000
If you scratch off the serial number for this one thing or something.
or like, I don't know, whatever the fuck you want. Like, like you can have like that kind of reach.
No, exactly. That's good. No, you're right. You're thinking exactly the way I was like suggesting, which is what I'm saying about my example, which was before I did the sword tournament, I didn't know what the outcome was, but all I knew was the causalities that I was in control of. Like I could stop drinking as much, I could exercise more, I could train more, I could practice more, take it more seriously, focus more on it, pay more attention to who I'm competing against. Just little things.
Yes.
One of these single things wouldn't have led to a victory, but it's the fact that these.
It's holistic.
Yeah, exactly. I was looking at like the different causalities that I was actually in control of. Now it's like a different example. Let's say I want to get away with a murder. Like shooting someone, like I want to get away with a shooting. This goes back to your example. Like how many causalities are we actually in control of? And most people are just thinking they're thinking the wrong way about it. They're thinking from their goal, like I want to get away with shooting this guy, and then working backwards like that, when you should skip a whole bunch of shit and move to the bottom first. So I think this goes back to the old parable, like know thyself, know thy enemy. This is knowing your enemy. Like you know what you want to do, you know who you want to kill, you know how you want to kill him. And then working your way back is skipping is not doing the know thyself. So first you do know your enemy, then you skip everything else and know thyself. What can I actually do? What am I actually good at? What do I actually have control of? Well,
okay, so I would argue the big issue is when you say get away with it. That's yours, right?
What?
Yeah. Is at what cost?
Well, that's one of the questions. Not everyone would prioritize that.
No, because like. Yeah, you could get away with a murder and then spend your whole life in hiding. Like,
so you'd have to determine a level of causality that could allow you to control not getting fucking chased by the cops and detectives and media after the fact. So you got to plan for that too.
No, but I'm saying like maybe you are okay with that outcome, right? So then you don't have to really do much for the murder things, but you do have to do much for the escape plan.
Yeah, so what else are you in control of? You're in control of your fitness. Like leading up to the murder, like shooting, you could say like it'll probably help if I work out, right? It'll probably help if I, like eat clean for like a few months, like do cardio. I might have to run.
Not. I mean, maybe they'll give you away.
Or what about like maybe you're right, maybe that will give you. Like for example, like I should go to the shooting range to do a couple of
to practice. It's like, he went here
I knew that's what you were
every
thinking,
day
like,
for 3 months until the murder, and then he stopped.
Well, because there's a lot of I read
It's
I read too many books, like those kinds of mystery, drama,
right,
crime thrillers and shit. Like,
yeah, for all you know, your best course of action might be to do absolutely nothing different except kill someone, and then continue doing absolutely nothing different.
Yeah, it's true. But all right, there's like lighter examples. For example, like actually all the examples I was thinking of really just resolves itself over time. Like for example, like learning how to play like a show without being nervous or fucking up because of nervousness. Well, that's
you just practice.
Yeah, same with like martial arts. Same with yeah.
You even get lessons.
But it really is like killing someone. Like murdering, like getting away with the murder is a really tough one in terms of like how you have to like really manipulate causalities to like actually get away with that. Also winning a sword tournament, because that's one of those things. It's like it is in your control, but it's also not guaranteed.
I will say, generally speaking, anything that's a game
or competition,
is like much more bounded.
Would you say? Yeah.
Because you have infinite inputs, but like
the outcomes are like not fixed.
Well, the goal is pretty it's not nebulous.
Okay, actually, I got a
right?
good one. I got a good one. Let's say you join the military. You have 4 years of service in active duty in infantry, and you just don't want to die. So that's one of those things where it is kind of a game, right? The game is don't fucking die. You don't know if you're not going to die, but you're going to try your real damnedest not to. So you have to like, that's when you manipulate causality. It's like, well, you know, like if I stay fit, you know, if I don't piss off the people that I'm working with, you know, like don't make them hate me.
Okay, funny story here. Do you know about, gonna call this the parable of the Ukrainian volunteers?
No.
Okay, so basically, you know, when the Ukraine war broke out with Russia,
Right.
a bunch of people from other countries volunteered to fight.
Yeah.
Now,
That sounds fun.
yeah, so the thing is, the Ukrainian army didn't really want to use them, and
I mean,
also,
that's very disruptive to the chain of command.
well, A, they don't speak Russian probably.
Like I said, very
Yeah,
disruptive to the chain of
they
command.
don't know whatever, right?
You can't control them. They're
yeah,
not,
and then also it's like really bad optics
yeah,
if they die.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, so what they did was they just put them in like bunkers in the
Just
back
make
lines.
them sit there. Yeah.
Yeah, they made them sit there.
They get the experience. They get
Yeah.
the fucking, yeah, the tourists.
Yeah, and they moved them around, and then
Make them lift shit if you can. You know, make them
yeah.
do some fucking dragging shit around.
Yeah, and then Russia figured out where they were and launched the missile into them, and they all died.
The foreigners?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
When was this?
When it started, I don't remember.
Oh, this was early in the beginning.
It might have been in the. It was in the Biden offensive, not the Obama offensive.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Yeah, but how funny is that? I
That
mean,
is
it's
pretty
terrible,
funny. No,
but
no.
it's like okay.
no, because I could just imagine being like some dickhead redditor from like the States or London or like the UK, and he's like, yeah, I have this calling, you know, I just
Yeah.
feel like he's like an EMT or a fucking like
No, but I'm
GameStop
saying,
manager or
like-
some shit. And he's like, yeah.
But I'm saying the tremendous irony is like, yeah, you would have probably been better off sending him on the battlefield because, like,
Yo,
now you
yeah.
have even worse optics.
You ever watch those insane YouTube videos where it's like you have these one-on-one VR meetups, and it's like they just tell the most insane stories. Like one where I saw this one where it's like you see Sonic talking to like Guts from Berserk, and Sonic is just like this former Marine, and when he was like out of active duty, when he already finished his duty, the Ukraine war broke out, and he was one of those volunteers. He volunteered to go, and he told his whole stupid fucking story. It all sounded very stupid, but he choked up on the interesting part was a lot of it was traveling to the front, which took a long time for him. And then once he got to the front, that's when he was like, he shot someone. You know, like he got his hands on.
Sonic shot someone.
He got his hands.
That's
It's funny 'cause
Knuckles, bro. That's Knuckles.
You got the mental image too. Like you know exactly what I'm talking about. But anyway, he's like, they found on the way to the front. He found a gun at some like checkpoint where refugees were, and then he found ammo for it. And apparently, like he was sent off with some Russian, with some Ukrainian guy, soldier, and you could tell like the way he was telling the story. This Ukrainian soldier was like the one squad mate who they didn't like him at all. He was like maybe he was the idiot or whatever. It's like send him with the foreigner out, and then they sent him out with the foreigner, and it was like pitch black, but they were in like a rural countryside area with like a lot of houses, almost suburban. And so it was dark. It was all black though, no lights. So he sees like a shadowy figure, and then the Ukrainian guy he was with spoke a little English. He was like, yeah, he's Russian. So they saw like a couple guys. So the American guy telling the story, Sonic, he aims the rifle and just starts shooting, and then immediately he drops and the other guy runs away, and then it's dark and there's like they're yards apart. And he doesn't want to go there and confirm the kill because it's so dark. You might get shot. So he said that's what traumatized me the most, because like when one of the Russian guy's buddies ran away, the one I shot was just sitting there, and I heard gurgling sounds and coughing, and I was basically listening to the guy dying, and it was just so visceral. Like at that point, like I knew it was all like very true. Like I was like, yeah, this is
PTSD is real, Sonic.
Yeah, and like, this is the part in the story was like cracking up, and like I was like, yeah, that sucks. Like you thought you were gonna be like, yeah, this is awesome. I'm gonna be in some sick firefights or some shit with my squad mates, and it's like, nah, you're just with some Ukrainian retard in the squad, and you're in some pitch black area, and you shoot some kid taking a piss. Like,
well, there's that phrase, the saying where it's like, war is like, complete boredom punctuated by minutes of sheer terror.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. That's pretty accurate. Like, yeah, you're mostly doing nothing except for that one bit where it's like everything.
It's kind of like evil golf.
Yeah. It's a good point. It is kind of like evil golf.
Because golf is like mostly doing nothing except for that
yeah.
time you actually do something, right?
Well, I was going to say, you ever played paintball?
No, did you?
Yeah. You should try it. I think you'd like it.
I'm not really trained in like those kinds of tactics.
You don't have to be. But like it does really show you kind of like how guns work. Mm-hmm. Or like how tactics with guns work.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, you're like, it's a lot of like hiding, looking, shooting, hiding, moving, shooting, hiding. Like you're doing a lot more nothing than you would expect. Unless you're like a fucking professional, at which point they just rush your ass and fucking shoot you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like as a beginner, you're like, oh, I am very lost and I'm not sure what to do.
Well, think about like...
Oh, even better, like when I first played paintball, if you get the rental gun and the rental goggles, they are incredibly bad. So like you can't really see because they're all scratched up.
Yeah.
And your gun like does not...
God bless you.
Your gun does not shoot straight. So like you can't hit anything more than like 15 feet out. Like it's real. Like it's like...
That's so funny.
Like straight up and shoots like that.
Meanwhile, you got the pros and they're shooting like
yeah, and
beams.
they're just like... Yeah, so you learn like, oh, like real warfare shit. Like... situational awareness, equipment, like knowing tactics all make like not even like a little bit of difference, but it's like everything. 5 levels up.
This is what I'm talking about, causality. Actually, you know what? Maybe that's what it is. Like doing any kind of combat sport or anything like that will really, really make you sensitive to causality. And I'm not talking about the causality that you could consciously plan for. It's like the kind of causality that it's like you just, for some reason, your instincts just know. Like, don't fucking, like don't call this person that you're about to deal with like from your cell phone, or like don't fucking like just things that you wouldn't consciously plan for, but at this random moment it just pops up. Like, don't drink that, like when you're offered a drink, like I'm not gonna drink that, or like they offer you a seat, it's like no, I'm not gonna.
You mean like intuition?
Yeah, exactly. I think when you do like paintball or like martial arts or boxing, because you can't think, you don't have time to think when a guy's trying to hit you as fast as hard as he can.
You do have training, right? And the training teaches your body to react, in real time.
But the training is funny because what we're doing is we're essentially programming our mind and body, right? So it's like, but the method of programming isn't just like writing a sequence of code.
No,
it's conditioning.
Yeah.
It's like, for example, when you're in a sword fight, right? And I'm teaching, like, let's say I'm teaching 2 people who don't know what the fuck they're doing, and I see that they're both getting hit at the same time. I'm like, you got to pay attention to range. And I say this knowing that they hear me, they're listening to me, they understand me, they're trying to like apply it.
Yeah,
but
it's visceral.
Yeah, but their body doesn't really understand it yet. So boom, it happens again. So I'll repeat myself. I don't get mad. I don't get frustrated. I'm just like, you got to look out for range. And then same thing. They keep doing it over and over. And this will go on for like months.
Yeah, of course.
Until eventually
it clicks.
Yeah. So, and I love that moment because I see it happen within me with a lot of things too. It's a beautiful moment where like learning how to ride a bike, for example, it's kind of like that. Like it's something you intuitively have to like get. Yeah. And that's a thing that like no one really measures, right? We could measure pattern recognition.
Okay. So there is a scientific term for this, I think. It's called embodied cognition.
Yeah.
Right, as opposed to mental cognition.
Like it's the kind
which is to say your body understands.
Someone said it was a kind of mechanical IQ, and I agree with that. Like it's the kind of shit where it's like, I remember back in the day, and I really wondered like if I was just good at something. Like, and it wasn't even being smart, so I didn't know how to describe it. I was like, I would see someone at the turnstile just keep swiping their Metro card, and I'd be like, you fucking idiot. So I was like, I'm sorry, allow me, and I would just do it just the right way, and they would, they would be able to get
Yeah.
through. Or either
Professional
that,
New Yorker.
or it's like someone's like, or someone tries to like fucking get the key through the lock and they just
Yeah.
can't fucking do it. And I'm like, give it to me, and then I do it, and then it's
Yeah.
like I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like a
Well, I called out like mechanical sensitivity.
mechanical. Okay, yeah, I guess that's
But
what it is.
that's part of embodied cognition.
Yeah, yeah, because it's the same thing when you're like learning how to like swing a sword the right way or like swing a golf club the right way.
Actually, recently, my friend showed me a picture of a homunculus. Do you know what that is?
Is it like a terracotta kind of thing?
No. The way he described it to me was basically it's like a little sculpture of what has the most sensitivity in your body. So it's like a little human with like big hands, big lips, big eyes,
Okay.
like big penis,
Yeah.
big feet. Like,
Yeah.
yes, I know exactly what you're thinking.
No. I'm just
This
saying it's
looks
funny.
like
It's just funny.
that was also my first impression.
Yeah.
But that's actually like where you have the most sensitivity.
Yeah.
So like your hands have the most nerves,
Yeah.
right? And then like your face, yeah. Like, where was I going with this?
How to measure intuition.
Yeah. So it makes sense that like, if you have more awareness in your hands, you are more intuitive if you pay attention to it.
Oh, interesting. I think that's easy to condition in kids, though. Like, basically, you got to make them do stuff with their hands. And piano is like is honestly, I hated piano doing it as a kid because I was forced into it. Like, I didn't want to do it. I was just told
That's what
to do
everyone
it.
says.
So I did it.
Now look at you. You could be a SoundCloud rapper. You're like 3 face tattoos away. They gave you that one for free.
Damn. No, I mean seriously though, it's true. Like I could, because of that, I could probably do everything now. Like I could probably sword fight. I could do bike tricks. I could fix stuff.
I want to go that hard, but okay.
No, I'm serious. Like,
well, okay. Do you know? I mean, I have a lot of friends with kids at this point. Do you know about the whole Montessori thing?
yeah, I was a Montessori kid myself.
Oh, that might be why you are smarter than the
First grade. All right, so
street urchin.
First grade, I was in
urban
in
youth.
Staten Island Academy, and I got kicked out, and I ended up going second, third, fourth, and fifth grade in Montessori.
Okay.
Montessori school, the Montessori experience is interesting. So what they do is they keep the classes per grade really small. So
Well,
what this
yeah.
allows them to do is to combine multiple grades into a class. So the way they did it, it was like all the preschool grades were together. The kindergartners, I think, were split apart because there was a lot of kindergartners,
Right.
and there was like a little cognitive age gap between them. Yeah. But then like first grade and second grade were together.
Yeah.
Then third, fourth, and fifth grade were together. And yeah, it was honestly a really, I would say my elementary school experience going through Montessori was like one of the highlights of my life, honestly, because it's not even like I made lifelong friends. It's just, I think the method of education there is really the right idea. It's the right way to go. The only problem is I could see why it's not, you can't scale that. You can't just apply that.
Even they clearly do, because it is a program available to many people.
Well, it's more than just the system, because like the one I went to.
Also, people have to give a shit. Like the teachers have to give a shit.
Yeah, they do. You're right. But aside from that, it's like even being Montessori, I happen to get lucky because in Staten Island, well, I don't even know if I think the school is around. If you go deep in the South Shore of Staten Island, like on Highland Boulevard,
right,
it's all like wooded areas. But then in a cutoff in the woods, like it's like an off road of Highland Boulevard, and it's like not even a whole street. It's literally just like a driveway. But in that driveway is like a whole like set of blocks in its own like community.
Right.
And within that community, there's like a small horse ranch.
Wow.
Like they keep horses, and they, like,
okay, so rich people shit.
It's not rich. They're all like relatively blue collar, like small houses, almost cottages, right?
Okay.
But then in the middle of it is
but horses are not cheap. Let's just
no.
get
So
that
I don't
right.
know what that's about. It's all private owned, I'm sure.
So here's the thing: there's rich blue collar people.
Yeah, of course.
For the record.
They're old money. Well, almost old money.
No, if you're blue collar, you could be new money. Just like
no,
you
but
build.
clearly this is
You're like in the generation.
No, this is old Staten Island though, because like you could tell like this thing has been around for a long time, and the school itself. So if you go into the heart of that wooded communal area, there was a mansion, and the mansion was no longer owned by the previous owner, and it was converted into a Montessori school, and that's where I went. And it was like a old. It wasn't like a luxurious mansion.
Yeah.
You know what it was? It was built like like the plantation era kind of. It was built like that, except there was no huge plantation. It was just that
New
style.
York
Yeah, it was just
not in the South.
It was just that style house, and like I was like, you know what? Now that I mentioned it, now that I think about it, it was probably owned or built by a Southerner who moved to Staten Island at around that time.
Maybe
colonial, whatever, post-colonial era. But anyway, that was my experience going to Montessori, and I know there's like a Montessori in Manhattan, and I passed by it as like when I was a bike messenger, and I was like, it's definitely not the same experience, you know?
Probably not. Oh, but you're like, oh man, I am somehow smarter and more intuitive than people around me. Also,
I always thought it was because I was Asian.
Also you. I had a world-class education as a young kid. Is
Montessori world-class? It didn't seem like it. We were in the fucking woods in some rickety old mansion. You know, it's like how am I going to say that was like? It's not like we had high-tech shit. It wasn't like that. It was
you're conflating world-class
resources with like methodology, right?
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
really that's I guess what you're saying is that's what matters in education is.
I mean, it's been shown time and time again. They like education is not something you could throw money at, because everyone's like, oh, schools are underfunded, blah blah blah.
You're right.
It's like not exactly, because you could overfund them, you still won't get anywhere.
Yeah, and if you send your kid to Montessori, I don't know how expensive it is. It doesn't seem cheap. It can't be cheap. Right?
I honestly do not know, but like, okay, my whole point in this tangent or topic. Was, I have a lot of friends who have kids now, and like the Montessori method for like little kids is just like blocks with texture or like, intuitive like categorization stuff.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And, it's very like hands-on and interactive. Like I don't fully get it, but like you could see it. It's targeted towards building embodied cognition first, to some degree.
You know what the fucked up part is? When I think back in those years, I think less about most of the things I remember aren't even like the points when I was learning. Most of the shit I remember was socializing.
Yeah, well, that's part of it as well.
Because the classes were so fucking small. It's like you knew them. You knew everyone in your grade very, very, very well. Too well, almost.
Right.
You were like, shit. Like if you do something like embarrassing, like shit your pants, like everyone knows.
Well, would it be better if only half the class knew? And there was like working.
Well, the benefit was it's like honestly having like younger kids and older kids in the same class. Was
I think that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, it was that really did kind of change the dynamic a bit because it honestly what you did that offered like there was never a sense of superiority. It was never like a hierarchy of like, oh yeah, the older kids have to dominate the younger kids. It was never like that. I think because the classes were so small. There was only like say like 15 to 20 fifth graders and
and they were like mixed with
13 to 16 fourth graders and maybe 10 third graders. It was small numbers.
Yeah.
Which I don't know, is it expensive? Like
I have no idea. I've never done it. I was not in Montessori.
It doesn't seem prestigious, right? Otherwise you would hear like billionaires and millionaires all like gushing about it.
You may in fact hear that.
Maybe.
They don't always advertise it, but I think there is something to it.
I mean, I feel like they would just homeschool. Wouldn't that be better?
Well, okay. Like there's homeschool, there's private school, right? There's like
famous
tutoring
school, and there's famous people school.
There's like you get like I think like in the past for sure. Like if you're like a famous scientist or something, like rich people would hire you to teach their kids science.
Okay.
And like a lot of famous scientists were actually like, if they came from an aristocratic background, were taught by like the top scientists in their time.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, but that's not something you think about these days. Like you never hear like, fucking Michio Kaku tutored like Elon Musk's kid or some shit. You know what I mean?
Well, Michio Kaku apparently isn't all that, right?
No, okay, fucking Eric Weinstein, our boy. Right, you never hear him teaching like Bill Gates's kid. I don't, like, insert combination of famous scientist and person's kid.
It's true. It's absolutely true. Who do you think?
They could, like, Bill Gates could fucking hire Eric Weinstein and be like, "Yo, explain like why string theory fails."
Oh man. Yeah, I can't touch science, especially on the podcast because I'm not like certified in that.
Well, forget that. I'm just saying on principle. Like, this is something that used to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But now it's like they don't do that.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, which begs the question: who are they hiring to? Like, who taught Jaden Smith his fucking idea of his physics? Like, who taught Jaden Smith physics?
I don't know, but I don't think Will Smith is very good at physics.
No, I mean, I'm saying like, who would a rich person now like hire to teach their kids this shit?
Well, I mean, okay, it is important to note though that the kid has to have an aptitude for it in the first place. Like, I'm pretty sure if Will Smith hired Eric Weinstein to teach like Jaden Smith physics,
yeah,
he'd be like, "This is a waste of my time. Anyone could do this."
Yeah, I like right? the fact that the top physicians
and then even Jaden Smith would be like, "This is a waste of my time. I'm not gonna get this."
Yeah, top physicians hardly ever come from like Jaden Smith's or Will Smith's family. They usually, it's funny. They always come from like it's like, yeah, my daddy was a peanut farmer,
yeah.
Or it's like
no.
Yeah, I grew up with my Jewish father. He was a shoe salesman.
Yeah,
like
Yeah, there's stuff like that for sure. I mean, Jews, Asians, yeah, that's like big.
It's like, honestly, my dad was an airline pilot, back in the 60s.
Wait,
and
your dad? Like, for real?
No, not my. I'm just saying that's what every time I hear watch these interviews of these like scientific geniuses, their parents were doing some ordinary, maybe airliners.
Well, not exactly ordinary, right? Like, an airline pilot is like a skilled job, but it's not like a high-end job. Like, he's not a CEO of a company.
I mean, I don't know them
by
name.
Not everyone could be an airline pilot.
I don't know them by name, but I feel like some of these guys, like, yes, my father was a peanut farmer, or my father was a coal miner, or my father was a shoe salesman, or my father was, and these guys end up being like really prolific physicists or whatever.
Well, I mean,
how often do you hear them? They're like, "Oh yeah, my dad was a Hollywood actor," or my
no, not for that.
Exactly.
If I recall, I think Richard Feynman's dad used to sell suits.
Yeah,
he'd like go around selling suits.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's like, but
it was funny because it taught him to not trust people in suits. He was like, "You could just buy these."
You're right. I think it's also when the parent isn't exactly like a well-studied physicist or whatever, but they have a sense of discipline, and they may not even discipline their child, but if they project that discipline onto themselves, the child naturally picks that up. So when you're a child and you're naturally soaking in discipline, and then you vaguely come across like the scientific method, you're like, "Oh, this is interesting," and then you apply your naturally gifted discipline into it, and suddenly you get interested in rigorous study, like the rigorous study of things and the nature of things. And I could see how you could become a physicist with just a naturally instilled sense of discipline. So when that early childhood wonder hit stage it infuses with that pre-stage discipline, and that's how you could become like, I don't know, a really fucking smart scientist guy,
Well, I was gonna say, what's interesting about Feynman, by the way, is that his sister was also really groundbreaking.
Really? In what?
I think it was, I forgot. It was either like astrophysics or geology or something like that.
Astrophysics is crazy.
But like, I think they both got together and were like, "Hey, we should not engage in the same discipline because that would compete. We should both go into different disciplines." So he went into like nuclear and particle physics, and she went into like a different physics.
Okay.
And they both like did like really very well within their respective branches.
I feel like
he didn't put that in his biography though. But
I feel like also, in a way, there is a lot of odds for them to like get into the same thing. But I feel like also because I don't even know that much about it, but I feel like even in something with like physics, there's so many different things. Like the chances of them just constantly being interested in the exact same type of physics is probably not even that high, right? Like,
I think they were just good at most things. And then it was like, well, what do you want to look at? You know.
Oh yeah, it's true. Observable observation or attention is literally a form of energy.
Yeah.
So when you do focus on that, that literally becomes your reality.
Yeah, like if you read like Feynman's biography, he was like, "Oh, I got very good at repairing radios," right? Like in theory, he could have just kept repairing radios.
Yeah.
Right? He could just stop there and been like, "I'm gonna be like a great radio repair guy," but he didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably because he went to Yale and stuff.
You ever heard of the band Descendants?
Yes.
You know the lead singer is like a fucking genius.
No.
And like he's got like a PhD in some scientific shit. It was pretty funny though.
Good for them.
Yeah.
They like started pop punk too. Like very underrated as far as.
What about the Offspring? Do you think they had a hand in?
Yeah, they progressed it, but the Descendants did it first.
Oh, okay. I love the
Also,
Descendants.
Offspring lead singer got a PhD in molecular biology, I think.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and he did it after he got famous in the Offspring.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
think he got it like 2013.
I mean, put it this
It's
way.
just really funny.
Let's say you get really big in a band and you have some time between like your job, which is to play music and tour and shit. So what are you going to do? You might as well educate yourself. Like, why not? Well, I mean, unless you plan on nuking your life and destroying your career, you might as well just learn new shit. Like, what else are you going to do?
But there's a difference between learning new shit and being capable of learning new shit, right? Like, you wouldn't think a guy who's playing pop punk, which is like the dumbest sounding genre of most of the genres, would be like, actually, I'm really smart. I'm just doing this to make money.
maybe that's the problem. Maybe not enough pop punk singers want to be like nuclear physicists or particle physicists anymore. You know?
They can't, generally speaking.
Why?
Because, okay, sorry, I think I have to sneeze.
Is it because they're of a certain race that makes you less likely to be able to engage with physics?
No, it's because of the economics, in my opinion.
Oh, really? Like pop punk singers are just blue collar dipshits from Boston or something? And
No. Okay, because I'm in a band right now, and I'm like around a lot of bands.
Yeah, and they're all poor. They're all broke as fuck.
No, the biggest problem I see is that like if you're competent enough to start a band and be in a band, you're just competent enough to do something else that makes way more money.
That's so funny.
For way less effort.
Oh man, that's so funny.
So what you end up with
or
is
just doing it yourself or making music yourself. Like
right.
Yeah.
Or like leveraging technology, like however. So like what you end up with in bands is this like people who are just competent enough to play their instrument good, but not so competent that they could do anything else.
That's what you want. That's the ideal.
No, that's terrible.
Oh,
because you want like talented people.
No, you don't.
You generally do.
No, because if you get all right, first of all, if you get too many people, you want to be the guy that could make more money doing other things because you're competent enough to start a band, right? You want to be that guy. However, the people in your band, you don't want them to be like you because then they could just fuck off and do their own thing whenever they want.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what keeps happening.
But you want the guys that are only competent enough to play their instrument and not competent to do anything else. Your job is to lead them. Your job is to take...
You're assuming I'm a band leader.
No, not you. Bass. I'm just saying in this scenario. Like, yeah, you got to be the guy in this scenario who takes control of the fucking idiots.
But again, like, even if you have that... Like,
it still falls apart eventually. Nothing lasts forever.
Well, I'm saying, like, okay, even if you're like fully well versed in taking control of idiots, right?
Yeah.
Like, you could just be like a manager in like a big company.
Yeah, exactly.
And make like $3,000.
No, so you gotta really want to do this shit.
Yeah, but like, even if you do really want to do this shit, like, you still gotta pay your bills.
Yeah.
And you could just make like, $300K a year.
So, which is why you can't afford to bring in people who are so talented that they could just fuck off at any given time without even saying anything. You got to find people that you can control.
I'm saying you can't afford to even do it because like the opportunity cost of doing something else is just so much bigger.
You could afford to do it.
No, not really. Like not like full time go touring. Like this is your real job. Like in the past.
In the classic format, no, like with the whole band and touring. And Yeah,
I'm saying
that's
like
a lot.
you could write songs remotely and send them to each other. Fine.
No, it's still not the same as like
No,
gigging
it's not.
together because you got to practice.
Yeah.
And,
Exactly. So like bands are just really expensive in like a opportunity cost sense.
well, that actually gives me hope. Maybe that's going to mean they'll make a comeback because that gives like
No.
a sense of austerity and like
I
not
mean,
austerity. It's like ostentatious,
oh,
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay, you're saying like it's like a very
glitzy, ostentatious, glamorous kind of thing.
well. That's someone.
Excess.
Well,
We
yeah,
like excess.
that's why like the Strokes came from money,
Yeah,
right?
Hells
They were
yeah.
like probably the last great recent rock band,
yeah.
right? And now we're just stuck with not very good bands because everyone else can just do something else.
That's true.
Yeah,
But I think it's
that
gonna-
said, my band's gonna be awesome. I hope.
Yeah. No,
But
I mean,
but yeah, this is something I just keep running into repeatedly.
yeah.
Not to say that my bandmates are not good at things; they are. It's just like I've seen this happen repeatedly.
No, you're absolutely right. Like once I was so into the band idea thing, I was like super duper committed to that dream. But I was like, once like technology like made itself really available to me, I was like, yeah, fuck this. Like, I'm not doing this.
I mean, yeah. Also, I hate to say it, but like at this point, I've gotten way more gigs as an electronic musician than I have as a band member.
it's not it's not even the music. It's the logistics and the economy.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the economic
'Cause-
factor. It's nothing to
yeah.
do with the music. It's not
I know,
really
that's
because
what I'm
people.
getting at.
Yeah, it's not really because people prefer to hear these fucking DJs. It's
They
just
don't.
literally just because these DJs are way easier to. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. That's really what it is. Yeah. No, I agree with that. I do agree that it's the whole band thing is really economic. So the only way this could really even out and balance out right is if gigging and banding becomes more economic. Like you can't have these
It's
fucking
very hard to do.
you can't have these 100-pound amps anymore. You got to figure out a way for all.
They don't. No, that's easy to take care of. That's not a problem. What's expensive is getting yourself and your instrument to the gig, right? And 4 other people at the same time.
No, there's still the fucking drummer to deal with.
You could have drum sets at this venue.
They got to still bring their cymbals.
Like if you're a grand pianist, you're not bringing your grand piano to the venue.
They still got to bring their cymbals,
That's not that bad.
and you still got to do sound check. So it's not really the gear. It's also the time it takes.
That's what I'm getting at. Yeah.
Yeah.
The time and the effort. Yeah. Versus, bring your USB stick, plug it in, hit play. You chilling.
Yeah, you're right. No, I totally agree with that.
No, but what else? Yeah, I have my other rant, by the way. Okay. Click tracks
Yeah.
are I think they're killing music. I'm fucking Rick Beato right now.
You don't like click tracks?
Not for live.
Okay.
No, okay, because I was thinking about it. Fundamentally speaking, if you're a band playing to a click track that's just like, fully on rails, like no start stop, like a DJ has more affordances than you.
Yeah.
Affordances
because they got a
are-
constant mechanical tempo, a metronome, pretty much.
Well, okay, you know what an affordance is, by the way?
What?
Do you know what an affordance is?
What?
It's like your ability to change things.
Oh, like agency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like moves you can make,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So like if you're a DJ, you could pause the song, you could stutter the song, you could loop the song back, you could
Scratch
filter.
it.
Yeah, you could filter, you could fade in, you could add noise, you could play another track on top, you could do
Sure.
like one-shot samples,
Yeah.
right? If you're a band playing to a click track, you're literally just stuck playing like the song. Like maybe you could like improvise your solo a little bit. But like, you can't slow down, you can't speed up, you can't like pause longer. Like you're just stuck doing this shit on rails. And I think that really negates like the biggest advantage of bands.
Now I know. Now I fully realize what you're talking about. So you're telling me there's bands that play live shows with like wearing a metronome in their ear?
Yes.
Why?
That's what I said.
That's what the fucking drummer's for. I mean, if
Yes.
the drummer wears a click track, I get it.
But it's
honestly,
the same issue.
You're right, because the drummer is the one who
Yeah.
really. Yeah. Shit. I mean, do you know drummers that wear?
No. You don't get it. This is all modern bands. They all do this.
Oh, well, look,
Have you seen a
I
band
thought-
live
no, no, I thought you were
recently?
ta-
They
I thought
all
you were
do
talking
this.
About, I thought you were talking about fucking like bands in like Bushwick dive bar venues.
No,
and
those
shit.
people actually don't.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
No, I'm saying if you go see like a band in like a
A
major
football
venue,
stadium. Yeah, I get it.
yeah,
Okay.
that's all hyper coordinated
yeah,
to a click track.
100%. I get. I
Yeah,
believe
and
that.
I'm saying that's dumb.
You don't like that?
No.
All right, but if it's like I don't know Madison Square Garden and it's a fucking band.
Yeah, you fucking play that shit as 4 people and shut the fuck up because you're that good.
Yeah, I'm saying like there's got to be some bands.
No, they're playing to a click track.
Oh, okay.
Like the only band I've figured out recently that like plays stadiums and does not play to a click track is Metallica.
Okay.
And I think that's why they're still like relevant and popular, even though they haven't
Yeah,
put
they're
out
beast.
anything good.
They're beastly.
No, but I'm saying like Polyphia, all click track.
100%.
You cannot play that shit
100%.
without a click track.
I
Like,
mean, that's
any
kind of-
modern metal band, even like on a local level, they're all trying to do click tracks.
Well,
And
it's
it's
because
like-
their music isn't really. I could see why. Because think about it, like the precision is their gimmick. Because without that, there's no vocals in their music, so
There
it's
is.
like
For Polyphia, you mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like precision is their gimmick. So like they're just kind of like fucking themselves ultimately if they don't play with a click track.
Yes, but at the same time, like you're robbing your band of its biggest set of affordances, which is that you could be dynamic, right? You could all just like hang out and stop
I don't
and
know. Kevin.
improvise.
I don't know what it's like to play for Polyphia. Like maybe if one
No,
guy.
I'm not saying for
maybe
Polyphia.
it's-
I'm saying for a hypothetical band.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying Polyphia specifically. Like their shit is so delicate. I think where if like
Yeah.
one guy tries to improvise a little bit, it'll fuck the whole thing up. You know.
Yeah, for Polyphia, no, that's like
It's
hyper
like-
on rails.
It's like an exquisite like tensegrity. You know what tensegrity is?
no.
You ever see those weird sculptures that are like it's like a combination of strings and struts?
Oh
where it's
yes,
like,
yes,
it's like
yes.
hanging but standing
Yes.
at the same time. Yeah,
it's like because it's all intention, it supports itself.
yeah. That's
even
what
though it should-
Polyphia's music is like to me. It's all tense. It's like that.
That's
tense-
fair. That's a fair.
So if you like disrupt one thing, it's gonna fuck the whole fucking thing up.
Yeah,
You know who I think
I'll
strikes a
give it
good
that.
balance though, where they probably do play with a click track, but I don't think they have to. Like Animals as leaders.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Like, well,
Depends on the drummer. It's really all on the drummer, and I think that's really the problem
well,
with
no.
these bands.
I was gonna say the things I've seen that help is if your drummer has the ability to start and stop the click, right?
Okay.
So like if during pauses, it's like you can pause indefinitely, and then like come in when the drummer feels like it. Like that's like a much better experience.
I mean, honestly, you could get very, very creative. The way I would do it, I could get super creative. For example, like I could just do a click track. I could break up the click tracks as their own songs. Like I could do a whole track of just a click track, and then I could do it for a certain amount of measures, and then I could just do silence. And if I hear a silence, that means I could do whatever I want, and I could do a countdown, like a click, click.
well, yeah,
click,
that's what they
click.
do as well.
Yeah, so you could do creative shit like that, you know?
Yes, no, I'm
That
saying
becomes an art in itself, honestly.
I agree. There is definitely ways to get yourself affordances with click tracks.
Yeah.
Like it is very possible,
Probably fun.
but
honestly.
like most people just haven't done it.
no, they're just putting on steady beat.
Yeah.
And, okay.
Or like no, you get like each member has their own click track, and this song is literally like unplayable if you don't have click tracks because everyone's just listening to click tracks, and like you cannot keep time otherwise.
I mean, nowadays, I can't really think of technological limitations with what you could express through music anymore. Now it's really just creative limitations. Like,
Yeah,
we-
but that's its own limitation. Yes, that might be even worse actually.
yeah, because like,
Oftentimes creative technical
Too much freedom,
limitations
yeah.
bring creative freedom.
yeah, now it seems like to me, like we've gained dominance over the entire sonic spectrum. Everything from, like the cardinal direction of our sound perception to
Yeah.
the pitch to the frequency
Yeah.
to the timbre to sampling to formatting to
Yeah.
everything.
Exactly.
To transposing. We dominated the whole sound spectrum. Now the only question is like how much further can it go? At this point, if we go any further, it'll get like really weird. It'll be like learning to apply sound to like medical practices.
That's the thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's probably like
No,
learning
that's fine. But it's a different domain.
or learning to use like sound to change the properties of matter. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's outside the realm of art.
Okay, so what
That's
about
utility.
using willfully using sound whether through songs or just recorded samples or songs or like sounds, just using them not in the pursuit of listening to novel music, you know, like a song, like looking at paintings, but just using it as a form of self attunement, you know, like to literally put yourself in a certain state of consciousness.
Yeah, that's also a thing.
Yeah, like what would you call that? Like music therapy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people who like, you know, there's like 24-hour drone concerts. You could go to that. It's fun.
That's like a European torture chamber. Anyway, you want to take a quick break? This episode is going to be called Homunculus. Definitely. And I'm gonna use the picture of the homunculus. I really hope it doesn't get me like.
That's a real picture.
All right, fine. I'll use it.
That's like in medical textbooks. I swear to God.
All right, I'm totally gonna use it.
Just, you know, not the Full Metal Alchemist version.
So I want to talk about writing. Okay. Do you do any writing?
Nope. Unless you count long Facebook posts.
That's writing. Are you
Some
serious?
of which you read occasionally.
Put it this way. Do you give a shit? Do you think your friends give a fuck about like more than 90% of the books written out there?
Obviously not.
Okay, so
no one can give a fuck about most. All
right, so
there's so many books.
So let me ask you: do you think your friends could give a fuck about you just texting them, asking if you could? Like, can you convince your friends over text to go out to dinner with you?
Yeah.
So if you could do that, you're already like, I mean, as far as they're concerned, a more engaging writer than 90% of the other writers in the world. You know?
No, I would not look at it that way.
You should. You are technically writing, right? And you got to use words, don't you, to like get your point across and convince people to do something, especially written words, right? I think people take for granted like how much writing they're actually doing these days. Yes, there's a lot of pitfalls.
Well, same with reading, yeah. Because everyone's like, how many books did you read? Probably not that many. But like, if you look at the amount of words you read with like articles and social media,
and I know that's a mixed bag. Like I know a lot of it could be low quality shit. I get it, but the practice itself does still have value in and of itself. You know.
Well, I'd also argue, actually, an even funnier point: art. Right?
Yeah.
Everyone's like, no one looks at art. No, we look at so much fucking art.
Yeah.
And we look at so much good art. Like we're looking at art like almost
every day,
nonstop throughout the day. Like. You go on like Instagram, so much art, so much media. You watch a show, you watch a movie, you listen to music. Like
every bitch's face is basically just a portrait made of makeup.
Okay,
so
I can
that's
say
art.
that too. Like we take photos like nonstop. Like the amount of art we have is like tremendous.
Yeah, you're right.
But everyone's like, no one cares about art anymore.
I'd argue that's all we care about these days.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the irony.
Yeah. Yeah, you just got to zoom out a bit and then you would actually see it for what it is, which is probably the exact opposite of what you thought it was. We do care about art. I care the fuck about
the same.
art.
But it's like...
Well, I don't care about like painting, like conventional, I guess modern art. You know, I don't care about modern art because it's just become like a money laundering scheme for rich people at this point.
Yeah, well,
I would love to...
That's its own unique issue.
I mean, if I really wanted a painting from my friend... And like
you have paintings from your friends.
Yeah, I do. I'm just like, I have a couple of Taj pieces. I'm just saying, like, if I really wanted a painting from my friend and he wanted to charge me $500 for it and I didn't want to spend $500, but I really wanted that painting because I just feel like
negotiate him to $300. You'll still be happy.
I'm just saying, like, the value of art is like that. Like, it's really boils down to how much you fucking want it. Like, don't let them like confuse you by saying like, oh, it's because it was painted by this guy at this time because he's so prestigious. Really, did you want it? You know, it's like how much do you? Because the minute you start looking at it as like, I want it, even though I want to buy this, even though I don't actually personally want it, like. Unless
you're thinking investment, right? As opposed
no. I'm thinking of like emotionally fulfilling things to own and have. Because most of the things most of the objects we choose to like invest and purchase aren't really worth shit. It's just stuff.
Yeah, sure.
But very, very few things we actually own materially are actually worth anything. Like really in a holistic sense. Maybe monetarily they could be worth a lot.
But there's nothing that's actually worth anything inherently, right?
No, that's not true. Food is worth a lot, because we need to eat, right?
Well, food is worth a lot unless you have a lot of food, at which point it's not worth a lot.
Okay, so what the point I'm trying to make with
Like-
that is like when it comes to your material objects, like imagine you have like no clothes, you have like hardly any food to survive, hardly any water, air is questionable.
Yeah.
What object do you own would make that slightly more tolerable? For me, it's like a guitar or something, right? Or a bicycle.
Well,
like that would make
okay,
things slightly tolerable.
But like what you're getting at is the crux of my point. Like value exists in context.
yeah.
Right? Like a person in a desert will value will value water much more than a person in a waterfall. Right?
Yeah, who would value a life jacket or something?
Yeah. Whereas a person in a desert would not give two fucks about a life jacket.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I totally agree with that. So, which is what I'm saying. Like, let's say you were in that situation where like your material needs were fucked. However, you still had something that you did that wouldn't solve those material needs, like most of our shit, right? You know, like, so if what's the one thing that would actually make that more tolerable for you? You know, and
There's a lot of different things.
I think a guitar would do it. A book, like a notebook, a pen and paper, like a blank notebook and a piece of and a pen.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest things I would want if I was like in a fucked situation.
Yeah. I was gonna say as an aside, that reminds me of this one time I saw this game show where it was a Japanese game show where basically they lock this person in an apartment naked with no resources whatsoever
Yeah.
except like a pile of sweepstakes cards and a pen.
Uh-huh.
And he has to just send out random lotteries until he wins stuff.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So all day he just enters contests and then like he get like a random thing here and a random thing there.
Well, oh shit. I wanted to say something else, but I already forgot it. Anyway, Mr. Beast came up with a really good idea for a YouTube channel. He was like, and I don't think it's that good of an idea, but it's a really funny one. So start a YouTube channel called I Play Scratch Offs Every Day Until I Win.
Oh.
And you just film yourself doing the scratch. It's like opening booster packs. You ever see those
Yeah.
YouTube channels? Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I like those. You know, I think it's pretty exhilarating sometimes.
Okay, so my boss, he has an idea for a scratch off casino.
Oh no, that's not a good idea.
Call it Scratch Castle.
It's not a good idea.
Yeah, and like is like the floor would just be covered in shavings. And you just go there and it's like a casino, except instead of machines, you get scratch off.
That's what every bodega essentially is. It's
Yeah,
like
but a bodega is not as cool a place to spend your time.
you need to be able to drink in there.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a
And I'm like,
disaster.
this is not even a bad idea. Some might argue this is a better idea than the actual company I work at.
Oh my
But
God.
I'm not going to work at Scratch Castle if he starts it.
This is a terrible idea.
But I'm
Okay,
sure if
so-
we ever become very successful, he could try it and it'd be funny.
I just want to go back to harping on how good of a useful like a notebook and paper and a pen is, because like let's say you're in any country where you don't speak the language
Yeah.
and you don't have a phone, you don't have anything. It's really, really easy to just draw like what you're looking for or referring to, or better yet,
Maybe.
let's say you were in contact with aliens, right?
Right.
You couldn't communicate like at all verbally. However, you could draw things and you show it to the alien, and that would
Yeah.
probably have a better shot. Or you could draw numbers or something like. You know.
So you're literally describing the plot of Arrivals?
That's what they did.
Yeah.
They did more than that. They taught words and shit.
Later.
Well, I feel like okay. I feel like Arrival was a lot more profound than that. I think it was more of a. Well, I mean, yeah, you're right. That is what they did. I do remember that movie. They
Yeah.
did. They were drawing for Abbott and Costello, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember. That was a great movie.
Yeah.
And I think the writing was just the beginning of it. The writing was
Yes.
just like to show.
Well, no,
you-
they draw pictures, and then they draw pictures, and then they change pictures, and eventually they got to dialogue and blah, blah, blah. And they built it up.
they weren't really pictures that they were drawing though. It was like.
Like, I don't remember the exact fucking details, but I'm pretty sure they started with like something like pictures and diagrams.
So what they do is they project to you like with ink blots,
Yeah, they started with ink blots.
and they project.
No, but then the humans came and started drawing, if I recall.
Yeah, they drew for them, and
Yeah.
they showed them like I don't know, like how humans refer to shit. But as
Yeah.
far as like the cephalopods, the way they
Yeah, they had the ink blots, yes.
yeah, and what they would do is they would present a circle to you,
Yeah.
and the only thing that circle was presenting was I think causality. I think that's what they were like. That's how they
Yeah,
communicate.
something like that.
Because like it was basically showing the effects of causes. You know, it's like they showed you multiple causalities with like circles, and it showed you the whole like cycle of events.
Right. Seems a little extreme for a first concept, but thanks, guys.
Well, the real fascinating part was when the human learned the language. So once the human learns how to read what they're trying to say, that's significant, because what it's basically saying is
speak cephalopod.
What that's saying is the language you think in has so much to do with like framing your entire reality. You know,
that's the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis.
It's true.
I don't think it's fully true. I'm a weak Sapir-Whorf hypothesis.
Well, I think like it was more true back then than it is now, because nowadays we have the lingua franca, which is English. You know, like
no, I don't think it has anything to do with it. I'm saying like.
What do you mean it has nothing to do with it?
No, I'm saying, have you ever come up with like original terms, or like come up with, you know, concepts that you can't put into words? I would say yes.
I've heard Korean words that English can't really.
Yeah, there's that too. But I'm saying, like, you could think of a concept that would not fit in a word, right? Or even fit in like multiple words.
I mean, I'll give it my best effort.
Yeah, you would like try to describe it.
Usually
but like
what I do is
nothing would fit exactly. Right?
I would have to think of analogies or something.
Yeah, so that to me breaks the strong Sapir-Whorf hypothesis, which says if you can't put it into words, you can't think it. I say no. You can think of things that you can't put into words.
No. Actually, what I think is I think you can feel things that you can't put into words.
I think you could. A lot of things that you
I think you could think things that you can't put into words, but you can't visualize it until you put into words.
Like, I could visualize things I can't put into words, no problem.
Like what?
I don't know. Give me anything to visualize. I just do it.
Like you can, I guess.
But you're saying, well, I gave you the words to visualize it.
Yeah.
But like, okay, you may not know this, but I just imagined a crazy complex shape, like for real, that like I would not be able to describe in words.
Okay, I see what you. No, cool.
It looks like PS1 polygon graphics with like random curves.
The thing is, like, I also had like cheat codes. You know, like I had, for example, like psychedelic experiences where you don't like literally see it, but you kind of see it. Like if you, for example, if you close your eyes, like you could literally visualize it in your head, and you see weird, fucked up shit. Like
you got the shapes.
Yeah,
they call it the shapes.
The cool shapes. They're cool.
Yeah.
My favorite thing was when you're on shrooms. Well, when I was on shrooms and I was in the woods and we had a huge bonfire, and the embers were like, I was visualizing them in like crazy, weird, sacred geometric patterns. That was really awesome.
Nice.
It's. I think it's just something to do with light.
Yeah, but like you can't put that shit into words.
You could try. You could do your best. You can make new words.
But I'm saying like like there's so much more to cognition than just language.
Okay, so I think without language, it's just pure chaos and craziness and pure stimulus. But words,
no, you could. Okay, fundamentally speaking, every functional living thing is capable of picking out patterns in their respective stimuli,
probably
in their respective receptors and sensors.
Animals could do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that in and of itself is a form of intelligence.
Yeah.
And like lets you live within your environment. And it's not just chaos.
Viruses can do that.
Yeah. A lot of things can do it.
Yeah.
Seems very common for something so unique.
Yeah.
Arguably.
Picking out patterns.
Yeah, it's like literally life.
Yeah.
It's like the key. You are an active agent in picking out patterns.
Well, that's a funny thing about patterns, right? You can't exactly hold a pattern in your hand. You can't smell a pattern or taste it or take a bite out of it.
You can definitely, smelling or tasting anything is pattern recognition.
No, you could smell parts of the pattern, but that's not, you're not smelling patterns. The pattern itself.
Smell is a pattern.
I feel like different smells could be, like experience could be patterns, right?
You're thinking of correlation, like things have a smell.
No, like for example, like, oh, today I smelled something bitter. Tomorrow I smelled something sweet. The next day I smelled something bitter again. Yeah. That's like a pattern developing.
No, that's not the patterns I'm talking about. I'm talking about, like, fundamentally speaking, your nose detects patterns of molecules in the air, and that is a smell.
All right, yeah. Okay. Right? On a fundamental level, yeah.
Yeah, like your tongue detect patterns in whatever you put on it, and that's a taste.
With the molecular structure of
Yeah.
it, like sugar, yeah.
Yeah, like it could break down all these different things with different enzymes, and that gives you a different signal.
Yeah.
Or however the fuck it works. I'm not a biologist.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your body doing like
Pattern recognition.
innate pattern recognition, right? Like you don't even have to think about it.
No.
Like that's already built in.
Yeah.
Like your body just has equipment for that sort of thing.
So really what it means is disabled people, challenged people are just really bad at pattern recognition.
No, they could be fine at pattern recognition and just like not be able to walk.
Well, I mean, maybe their bodies are bad at pattern. Like a part of their body is bad at pattern recognition.
Like if you're deaf or like if you're blind, yeah, by definition.
Yeah.
Like if you're like,
or if you have nerve damage.
Yeah, but like if you just like can't use your legs, you probably can recognize as many patterns as anyone else.
Actually, you know what's funny? Like, yeah, the body is physically, structurally. A lot of people like equate it to something like a rigid structure, like a building. You know, like with like the structure, like a skeleton, a foundation. Sure. But the more accurate analogy would be like the tensegrity structures. You know, like with the like the combination of like
it's true. Like there's a lot of active processes that keep your body together,
like held up pretty much. And it's
your heart's got to keep going, your lungs got to keep going, right? Your digestive system got to keep going, your brain's got to keep going. Like so many things are like active elements.
Yeah, which is what the tensegrity structures represent. It's like something that seems
tensegrity structures are passive. This would be more like, if you want to use the building analogy, you know the skyscrapers with like the internal pendulum? You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay, so at some point they like built buildings where like they would sway too much if you just left them alone.
Okay.
So they put like an internal pendulum in there that like counterbalances the swaying.
Is it like underneath the building?
No, it's like inside the building.
It's cool.
Yeah. And that would be like, you know, the pendulum has to keep going if you want the building to not collapse.
Makes sense.
That's like an active, holds itself up dealio.
Shit.
Which is life to some degree as well.
Is it perpetually moving or just like powered by something like a small amount of wattage?
So I don't know exactly how they do it. It might be like electricity plus generators for backup or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fascinating stuff.
Yeah. Fucking tensegrity structures. That's what our body is like. And if you look at some of the practices of Carlos Castaneda, he was like this scholar of Mayan, I don't want to call it philosophy. It's like it's basically like the ancient Mayans version of like Buddhism, you know, their way of life, their ancient spiritual tradition. And they have their own like yoga thing. And it's like this bizarre set of, well, I shouldn't call it bizarre. Maybe that's disrespectful, but it's like, it just looks crazy. And yeah, it's like, it's this weird like blend of dancing and Tai Chi and yoga. It's just crazy, you know?
Yeah. Also, didn't he play guitar on Smooth by Matchbox 20?
That's Carlos Santana.
Oh. Yes.
I was talking about Carlos Castaneda.
Wow. It would be cool if they were the same person.
Do you know about do you know Dr. Stephen Greer?
Sounds familiar.
Oh, okay, he's a UFO guy. We didn't talk about the last Eric Weinstein podcast.
Oh, I watched that shit. Yeah, it was good.
It was good.
About it? What about it?
He's a cool dude. I like him a lot.
I mean,
well, both of them are cool dudes. That Modern Wisdom guy. He's just a British
Williamson.
Chad. Yeah,
he is a British Chad.
Total Chad. He's just like, you know, I'm a Chad. I know.
He's like young Joe Rogan, following Joe Rogan's path before Joe Rogan laid out.
Is he?
I feel like if Joe Rogan got started at like age 20 with podcasts, like he would probably resemble Chris Williamson.
Who do you like better, Chris Williamson or Lex Friedman?
I don't like Lex Friedman. I never liked Lex Friedman.
Why not? Too autistic?
No, he's just
too stem brained.
No, he's just fucking like boring.
Really?
Yeah.
He
I
has
mean,
some really interesting guests.
yeah, so this is the thing. His guests are interesting. He's not. Okay, to be fair, I'm also a Destiny fan.
I don't know who Destiny is.
Destiny, the YouTuber, the streamer.
I never watched Destiny.
Okay, okay, so he's like a weird, like obscure figure that like some people know and some people don't.
Okay.
Basically, he started off as like a StarCraft 2 streamer on Twitch.
That's fun.
Transitioned to politics.
Oh no. That's
Yeah.
not fun.
No, but like he's like one of the smarter people in politics.
Oh. Oh, what a surprise! The autistic video game fucking player happened to be smart in another fucking field game of nonsense. Like
yeah, and then he
shout
was
out to StarCraft and politics.
Yeah, no, and he was like working with Lex Friedman, but like
They had a schism, a falling out.
Yeah, because Destiny's very liberal, and Lex Friedman is, let's say, sympathetic to conservatives and Russia.
Oh, so he gets some flack for that.
Yeah, so like he was like, "Yo."
He tries to be centrist about everything, though.
Yeah, so that's the other thing. Destiny tries to be very edgy on the left.
Yeah,
and like Lex Friedman's not about that.
I get that.
Like there was a whole thing.
Wait. Do you think there's wrong with that about Lex Friedman? Like that he just tries to be so neutral and.
No, that's not why I even don't like him though.
He's boring. Okay.
No, it's not that he's boring. It's that like I don't think he has like good opinions on things.
You know what? Now that you mention it, I never really know his opinions on things. Like I don't.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like he interviews guests, but like
isn't that what an interviewer is supposed to do though? Is not really.
Okay, hold on. I didn't say I don't respect him as an interviewer.
Yeah.
I just said I don't respect him as a
personality. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think his interviews are that interesting either, honestly.
You're right. I mean, the only ones I really watched that I really enjoyed with him was him and Jordan Peterson. That shit was so lit.
I'm a big Jordan Peterson fan.
So yeah, I mean, you're right. You know, I don't even. I've just breezed right through like Lex Friedman with podcasts with interesting guests, and I just didn't give a fuck. Like the one with him and Joe Rogan was actually pretty neat. I like that.
I mean, I think Friedman provides good content to some degree. But like,
I mean, now he's just so prestigious, though. Like he's got, I think he's had Kamala Harris on. Yeah. I think did he have Trump on? No, not yet.
I don't know. Like,
he had Elon Musk on. He had Jordan Peterson on. He had,
yeah. No, I'm not saying he doesn't have value, but like, I'm saying like, okay, he had fucking like Netanyahu on when like before.
Did he ever have Andrew
6th.
Tate on?
No,
that would have been hilarious.
Yeah, he had Kanye on in like the middle of his fucking schizophrenia. This is pretty awesome.
That's awesome.
Right?
He's good. Yeah.
But like at the same time, like did anything come out of it?
Yeah.
Well, not exactly.
I mean, not for us. It didn't change our lives. It just provided good content. You're right. It was like better than CNN.
I mean, on some level, it's almost like he took a podcast photograph of a thing that's already been depicted by every other medium.
Yeah, I guess it's like
it's like you already read about it in the news. You already saw like him speaking. You saw the tweets. You saw the social media. Now here he is, like talking Lex Friedman, like saying that same thing.
But that's why I like the one with Jordan Peterson, because with that it wasn't like he was like asking about all the headlines that they were just recently involved in. For that it was more like, oh, so like let's talk about Dostoevsky, like that's cool stuff. I like because that was clearly something that moved him. Like Lex emotionally, like he was emotionally moved by these fucking philosophers.
But here's the thing, like Peterson gave that interview like to a bunch of people. Not the same exact one, because Peterson actually does change up his interviews, which I think.
But Peterson, I think, wanted to talk to Lex.
Yeah.
I think he likes Lex.
I think he does.
So it's like, it's cool when it's both of them specifically, and they like each other, and they wanted to earnestly talk. I think that's a good one. I also think him and Joe Rogan are good buds, too. Like, I think Joe Rogan likes him.
Yeah, he does. Well, fun fact, there was a Destiny and Jordan Peterson interview, which is something I was really hoping to happen, like, since I started following Destiny. And it was weird. Like,
Why?
well, nothing really happened per se, but like, it's actually hard to describe the dynamic because like Destiny's very good at calling out like bullshit,
Okay.
and then like
Jordan
Peterson
Peterson is too.
is very good at being vague. So for some reason, Peterson decided to be on his like conservative politics kick, which I think he's like is like his least good subject.
Yeah.
And Destiny, like he didn't like debunk him. He just like asked him some like fairly straightforward questions, and like Peterson like immediately fell apart. And like it's one of Peterson's most watched interviews, but like he was like, I don't want to talk to Destiny ever again. Like fuck that guy.
I think they're both intimidated by each other.
Maybe. No, but it was like to give you an example, Peterson was like, like how do you explain like the excess deaths in Europe? Like
Good one.
like like with relation to the vaccine. And then Destiny was like, okay, so you're saying the vaccine killed all those people? Peterson's like, no, I'm not saying that. He's like, okay. So then like, what are you saying? And he was just like, like it's like you just got to explain the deaths in Europe and there was a vaccine. It's like, well, what if it's COVID?
These people are essentially like they're like mental gladiators. Like they literally just exist to like battle it out until like grind their intellectual axes and fucking like just battle it out over YouTube shit.
So I don't even know exactly. Like on some level, I feel like even those people are subject to the same cognitive biases as everyone else, but if not more so.
But it doesn't have to be like this. Is why I like being involved with like Exertus and like APM because it never feels like getting on a panel and debating with people. It feels like you're attending
I
like
debate with people.
It's like attending like it's like an institution. You go to this hall to like to it's like being a part of a lodge. You know, like I mean.
Are you saying Andreas started a Freemason?
No, not at all. I mean, this is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this is such a long-standing, yet like under the surface tradition, where since like medieval times, the idea was you start as a journeyman and you become an initiate in one certain lodge in your area. Who introduce you to like the concepts of inner transformation, transmutation, like self-mastery and all that shit. And then you go on a journey. You go to different cultures. You go to like China, for example, or you go to Persia, or you go to fucking Africa, or you go to the Netherlands or Scandinavia. Like all of these different cultures have their own alchemical lodges. They all have their own schools of like alchemical thinking and like metaphysics and shit.
Metal,
all that shit. And I don't think it's anything new. And like the fact that it's just now like starting to leak into
social media.
I mean, not social media. I mean, I guess maybe social media, but I mean, just that the fact that it's becoming a regular staple, like a mainstay of YouTube, of like these like these social media platforms of like actually self-produced videos. Some could be long form, short form, or whatever, and it's nice. It's cool to know that it's not just about discussing celebrities and watching like public figures or cultural figures like fucking talk shit at each other all day. Like a lot of it could just be about like sharing knowledge that's been passed down for like a really long time and now it just happens to be on the internet. What's wrong with that? Does the internet have to be
there's
nothing
nothing wrong with that.
Does the internet have to be nothing but like porn and fucking political bullshit? Can it not also have like esoteric wisdom too?
Oh no, it can.
I hope so.
Just like
of course it's going to get like covered, like it's going to have to share a space with a lot of bullshit. Yeah. But the fact that that's in there too, at least, give it that. Like,
well, yeah, that's like signal to noise.
All right. So I consider it like, like the light to the Antichrist, the frequency, it's like the good, like I really do think it's opposite polarity. Like we were talking about like negative corrupt, how leftism is like corrupt spirituality.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I mean, to be fair, there is some stuff on the right that also corrupts spirituality.
Of course. Like religious fanaticism and fundamentalism.
Yeah.
I always try to avoid that like the plague, honestly.
Yeah, like religious stuff. I would say even like incel stuff. is probably corrupting to some degree.
Well, I mean, the reason why I like love to stay away from religious narratives is because I want to leave that up to the people. Like the only thing I want is to give you like the initial like pop, you know, the initial like fucking
awakening.
Yeah. And then after that, just go on your way. You know, like you just got to get in touch with that part of yourself.
Yeah.
Once you do, I don't give a fuck if you become like Christian or like a born again Jew or like a Muslim, like whatever the fuck you want, like go for it. I can't decide. I can't decide from there. I'm not like a, you know, I'm not like that kind of, all I'm saying is like, it's there and it's essential. Like it's there for a reason.
That's
Otherwise you're going to live without it and it's not going to be fun, you know, like, but it's all out there, you know. You just got to ask the right questions. It's not about like having the right answers from a single person. It's like knowing what to ask. That's what discernment is. Discernment isn't knowing the right answers. Discernment is knowing what questions to ask about a given situation.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like I think that's really what spirituality is about. Isn't really necessarily about suddenly knowing the answers. It's suddenly like asking not just like external questions, like, and even that, like a lot of people don't do enough. Like I don't think enough people question like their environment or the stuff they're being exposed to. But I also don't think a lot of people question themselves enough. Like not just their own narratives and thoughts, like, but their own like sources of emotion. You know, their emotional responses.
Well, there's all kinds of psychological mechanisms that prevent that.
Well, on top, I agree, and maybe arguably, possibly a slightly bigger one would be physical. Like honestly, the emotional stuff is all physical. Like it is all physical sensations. Like the reason why meditation is so aligning is because like it quiets your mind first of all, which is step one, and then when you're in that state, the idea is you use that empty mental effort, that mental capacity, to do a full mental body scan. You basically
that kind of meditation.
Yeah, you turn that awareness from like thinking about things to like, all right, if you want to think about something, think about your own fucking body, like how your entire body feels from the top of your head to like the bottom of your toes. You know, like just do like the full entire scan as you're sitting there in a meditative state. And if you realize that like every sensation is a source of some like every kind of sensation is a source of some emotional stimulus.
Yes.
You know, like no matter what it is, you feel it as you go down. Like from here, you feel like senses of pride going down to like maybe like things associated with that, with guilt or shame, and then you go into your gut, which goes into like real sources of insecurity or anger. You know, and you go below that, which is like your, you know, the root chakra, which is like sexual energy and shit. Yeah, it's serious shit, and it's all connected to how you relate to your environment and how you respond to things. You know. Yeah,
I was reading an article on this as well, and it was. I think the article was something like, I forgot, it was like spirituality without the woo bullshit.
Yeah, that's what I totally believe in that. That's like my 100%.
It was like, like your body does feel like emotions are located within it. That's like a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like when you get angry, it's like very in your face.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like when you get scared, it's in your stomach.
Yeah. Well, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's why they say like big head.
Oh, when you feel
when you're like,
when you feel guilty, I think it's like maybe in your diaphragm. Chest, yeah. Interesting, right?
Yeah, that seems, it's like a seemingly universal experience.
Yeah,
that like
this is what the chakra points are all about, really. Like they're all
so
connected.
What's interesting, I guess, is like someone could theoretically run like a psychological study, right, and just be like, you know, get people to a certain emotion and be like, where do you think this emotion is located? Right? Yep. Like, where'd you feel that?
Oh my God, yeah.
And then there's probably be like a heavy correlation.
Hells yeah.
With like different body locations.
Yep. Like stress, for example, anxiety.
Yeah.
Yep. Because that's head based. Because stress and anxiety is like you're worried about the future. You're worried about your head. Yeah, you're worried about the future, and that's like very heavily cerebral, because you need mental cerebral capacity mostly to envision even a negative future, you know.
Yeah. So I'm surprised no one's done that.
I'm sure people have, just they frame it in a like a holistic medication.
But that's what I'm saying. Like I'm surprised, like, you know, regular psychology, like journal psychology, has not like attempted something like this. Because I feel like they just like knock it out.
This could get into conspiracy shit because the CIA already confirmed this. Like they legitimately studied all of this shit and the cognitive aspects and like the physical aspects and the mental the emotional aspects of it.
Right.
Like they did the whole thing. They fucked with like weird shit. You know, like they basically proved astral projection was real, or they not proved it. They admitted to it.
I don't believe that.
Like the agents they sent out to engage with it said, like, yeah, this shit is actually pretty real.
Asians?
The agents.
They're like, yeah, I astral projected.
No, well, it's more like it's more like there were institutions that were actively engaged in the study, and the CIA actively like employed them, gave them more resources so they could deepen their research.
No, I don't think that part's true. I think that if they said it's true, I think they said that to fuck with people.
I think what happened was
there's no reason the CIA would tell you the truth about any of their experiments if you think
it's not just the CIA, it's also the FBI. The FBI also have on record have employed psychics to solve like murders and shit, or to figure out like weird kidnapping scenarios, and they actually got like weird information they would never be able to get otherwise.
On the other hand, they could just been like, we don't like that guy. Psychic, what do you think? Like, I sense he might have done it.
No,
like,
they don't just use them to find bodies. They'll use them to find like downed aircrafts and shit. You know, it's like, oh, we lost a spy plane. Yeah. Can you tell us where to find it? It's like, here. And the problem is like, I think the real thing is like, it's not something that, like, it's not like the CIA has access to this specific special serum that only they could produce. And this is something that random normal people can make contact with and have access to. For no one knows why. No one knows why certain people can do this.
I don't believe that.
What do you mean?
Like, I don't believe a psychic can figure out where a spy plane crashed.
It's not that they figure it out like rationally.
No, I'm saying like I don't think they could either sense it either. Like,
no, look, that's not.
They might get lucky. They might get like.
No. It's not how this works. What they do is, so the idea is that this group is a paramilitary contracted organization, right? And the CIA is a separate entity. And they'll have a case, right? And the only way for this to be effective is they'll have a guy sit in a room, right?
Yeah.
And this guy who sits in the room with the quote unquote psychic doesn't know anything about the operation.
Yeah.
This guy who doesn't know anything about the operation is in contact with a guy who does know about the operation. So what he needs is details. So what they do is they'll cover the 5 W's, like who, what, where, when, why, obvious. Yeah. And they'll do that. And then what that does is create degrees of separation. So by the time the psychic gets questioned, he relies less on former references, like cognitive references, and more on just pure intuition. Just draw this. Like, close your eyes and I'm going to say words and draw what you see. They're not going to tell them about...
Hard to draw with your eyes closed, but sure.
No, like close your eyes and then I'm going to tell you words and then open your eyes and draw what you see. You know, like draw what you saw. That's what they do.
Right. Yeah. Well, there's people with good visualization for sure. And there's people that go with intuition for sure.
And intuition bypass, it's something obviously not based on like rational reality. It's something that's tapped into something greater than that.
Well, I think it's both. Like, it could be based on rational reality and like, you know, intuition, genetic, like, you know, predisposition to certain logic and sense, and also just general social upbringing and life experience. And just be very smart. Consider factors outside the box.
Well, I mean, okay, so when it comes to dealing with situations in regular life, right? Yeah. The most fucked up things is what things that happen when we don't expect them to. That's what trips us up the most.
Right.
Now, the way to remedy you getting tripped up from that is to, again, going back to causality, is to be constantly cognitive of the different causalities. Not all of them, because then you have to go all the way down to the subatomic level. But I'm just saying enough to give you a good grasp on how to like respond to things optimally. Okay. So that being said, what are the things that really get in the way of you seeing more causalities as opposed to just hyper focusing on one? It's like, oh, this wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for you. You know, like what are the things that get in the way of that? For example, it's ego. Ego definitely is a big anchor. Fear is a huge one. Insecurities.
Well, okay, what you're talking about is repression, right?
What do you mean?
That's like all those things lead to repression, right?
Yeah, like you're repressing your ability to think clearly, pretty much.
Well, okay. Okay. Do you know, like, again, I'm not saying this is how all psychics work, but do you know, like, the principle behind how psychics work? Like when you like go to like get like a reading from a psychic,
well,
or even like tarot cards.
You could tell me, but I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. But
Right.
my
Well, I'm not saying I'm right or wrong either, for the record.
my idea of it is like where you get in a state where your mind is relaxed enough where it's not really worried about material things, and then you could just start listening to what your intuition tells you.
Not exactly.
No? Okay, so what is it?
Okay, so basically, the way repression works is
Oh, repression. I thought you just meant like psychic insights in general.
no, but that's the same thing to some
Okay.
degree. Yeah. So what it is you know a certain thing
Yeah.
and you don't like it, so your brain hides that information from you.
Okay.
But in order for it to do that, it has to know that information and hide it. Right? So a part of you knows the thing that you're hiding.
Okay. Yeah. I follow.
Right? You won't consciously know it, but you'll subconsciously know
All
it.
right. Yeah. What is this going to?
Yeah. So what I'm saying is when a psychic like lays out tarot cards or reads your future, like they don't inherently have to do anything, but because you think that they know things about you, your repression mechanism like overrides itself, kind of.
All right.
So it's like, oh, of course they know that I cheated on my wife because they know everything, even though like I convinced myself I didn't cheat on her, you know, like,
Okay. No. I
or some shit like that.
All right. No, I think really the mechanism behind it isn't. It's not anything woo specific or anything about.
That's not woo.
It's
That's
not. No, I'm
just
just saying it's not about
psychology.
psychological manipulation either.
Well, it's not
Re-
manipulation.
Really, what it's about. Well, I mean, that's one example. You're right. I do understand what you're saying. Like that's clearly evident and probably exists many times over. But I think like in reality, like what psychic insight is about and when it really comes to you. Okay, so again, on any given moment of your life, like even right now, whoever's watching, like when if you weren't watching this, like let's say you were just driving in silence, like what would you be thinking about? First thing is just like your material worries, right? Like, oh, what are my kids doing? Do I have my bills paid? Do I have my bills paid? Oh, I'm getting kind of hungry. I'm kind of horny. I could use a cigarette. I could do this. I could use this. I could use that. It's like, oh man, what's tomorrow going to be like? Oh man, what the fuck am I going to do with work? Oh man, is my wife cheating on me? Oh man, is my girlfriend going to break up with me? It's like, what the fuck are my in-laws going to do this Friday when they come over? I hate them. Like, it's all a bunch of bullshit. This is noise. And this is generally what most people are worried about every given second of every given day. Now, what if you were able to align your daily life to not force your brain to go to those places? What if you had a job, a working situation where it didn't make you fucking constantly think about what the fuck your coworkers think about you or how they look at you or what they're doing? What if you were able to put yourself in a situation where you didn't eat so much garbage, where you didn't have to worry about whether or not your health was fucking at risk? What if you lived a life where it's like you didn't spend your money on fucking stupid shit like constant scratch offs or a bunch of like redundant bullshit that's just gonna fucking rot away in your apartment?
Tell him, Chris.
I'm just saying, like, no, I'm serious. Like, what if you covered as many of your material fucking worries instead of just constantly going through cycles of worrying about it and leaving it aside and worrying about it and leaving it aside? Like, what if you actually did something about these things? Like, and what does it all boil down to? Mind, body, soul. It's like your physical habits. Are you fucking eating like shit? Are you fucking jerking off to porn every day? Are you fucking not getting enough exercise and being a lazy piece of shit? Or what about the mental aspect? Like, are you a fucking bigot? Are you hanging on to beliefs that really just don't make you feel good? Are you subscribed to like not embracing self responsibility and just blaming others and like fucking externalizing blame? This is mentally bad for you. And what about on an emotional level? Like, are you locked into your emotional states? Like, do you just want to feel bliss 24/7, or do you just want to be depressed 24/7 because you think that's your fucking identity? That's emotionally bad for you. Like, you got to treat your emotions as visitors just passing through. And these are the things, like this is the three-way element that once you do this, suddenly your material worries start to fall away. And then once your material worries fall away, that's when insight, that's when the actual signal could come in. Because the noise is brought on through material concerns. Material concerns are brought on because your state of alignment is fucked up. Your mind is filled with fucked up, stupid fucking ideas. Your emotional state, you're hanging too close to emotions, and you have bad fucking physical habits. That's going to be a trifecta of fuck you. Like, you gotta fix that shit. Then you'll be psychic. Obviously, that's when your intuition is the strongest. God damn it, is when you're fucking aligned. That's how you become psychic. That's how this tarot shit is supposed to work. That's how numerology is supposed to work. That's how fucking, insight is supposed to work. You got to be in a state of alignment. And it's not about like manipulation and fucking all that shit. No, it's about reaching a state of alignment. So because that's clarity. That's clairvoyance. Like, once you don't have to worry about now, yesterday, and what future could be, once you then you could plan for your future. Then you could create your future. Then you could know what you're doing with your fucking money. Then you can know what you're doing with your energy. Then you can know what you're doing with your time. Like, come on. Like, yeah. So this is what the nature of psychic manifestation and abilities and sight and foresight is about. It's being in a state of alignment so you have the mental, spiritual, and physical real estate to see ahead. Because if you're not aligned, you ain't gonna see shit. You're just gonna constantly react. That's all you're gonna fucking do.
Right.
That's real psychic shit. Anyway, that's my take. Like, that's what I think psychic shit is. Even and let's say you are in a state of alignment, it doesn't matter if you're expressing that through tarot, essays, speeches, sermons. Like, if you got the juice, you fucking got it. That means you're aligned. Like, your mind, body, you don't treat your body like shit. You don't hang on to shitty ideas, and you respect your emotions and treat them as an honored guest that they are. You don't hold them up. You don't reject them. You just let them pass through you. Like, if you could do that, if you could do those three fucking things, then you'll have the gift. Then you'll make the deals with the angels. Like.
Wait. So, are you psychic?
Me?
Yeah.
I think we're all psychic. It's just the question is, like,
are you specifically psychic?
No, what you're asking is, am I aligned?
Yeah. Okay. Are you aligned? Are you America aligned?
I don't know if I am aligned, but what I will say is that the last 2 years was the only time was when I truly tried to be aligned. I never lived before that trying or caring about it. I never sought God. I never give a fuck about spirituality.
Well, no, I would argue people can try to align themselves on an intuitive level. They may not know they're doing it.
How about this? Better one. Some people are forced to. When you're a crippling alcoholic and you get sent to AA, what do you think they fucking do to you? They make you reach self-alignment. That's the only thing that'll fix you.
Hopefully.
Because they realize that's the fundamental aspects. Like, if you're a fucked up alcoholic, they're gonna be like, your mind, body, and soul are fucked up. It's like either your mind is hooked on booze, either your body, like, your mind could not be thinking about booze, and spiritually you might not need booze, but if you're physically addicted, like, you get shakes if you don't drink. It happens a lot of people.
Alcoholism is very hard to kick.
Yeah, and the mental addiction's fucked up because you might not be physically addicted. You might be spiritually fulfilled, but you're just thinking about it. You might be with your happy family one Christmas and it's like, I'd really like to get drunk. It's like, that's fucked up. Like,
well, I mean, do you think getting drunk has a spiritual component to it?
Yes, of course. You know why? Because I think, like, getting drunk is like, we abuse it because it's almost like a shortcut to enlightenment. It's a way to break down our ego and to just, like, break down to our basically that's your pure self. That's your inner child.
To become retard.
Yeah, it's literally, but it's not healthy because first of all, it's too easy, and the sacrifice isn't worth it. Like, what you're giving to reach that state does more damage.
Depends on how you do it.
But you could say the same about porn. It's like, it's breaking down your ego. It's like,
it's all tools.
Yeah.
Right? Like, porn isn't inherently damaging.
I mean, just the orgasm itself, I guess, is like, it could easily lead to a point where it's like, I don't give a fuck who's in the room. I don't give a. You get to that point right before coming where you're like, I don't give a fuck who's watching. I don't give a fuck how exposed I am. I don't give a fuck what's going on. All I got to do is finish this nut, And, like, people reach that state too.
Yeah. Assuming you could get up in the first place in that scenario.
I'm just saying, there's that point of, like, overstimulation of a certain aspect of, like, mind, body, and soul where it becomes, like, shattering. And it's not even, like, positive, like, orgasmic. It could be, like, so traumatic, like, so negative, like, where you go through so much fucked up shit so quickly at one point where it just breaks you. And you're like, what am I anyway? Like, if I died right now, like, would anyone even care? And it's like, no. It's like, what the fuck? And that automatically puts a lot of things into perspective for you. From there, you're like, well, what do I want then? Do I want people to give a fuck? No. Why don't I want people to give a fuck? Because you hate yourself. Why do I hate myself? Because you fucked up and did all this fucked up shit throughout your life. Why did I fuck up and do all that fucked up shit in my life? It's because your parents did this fucked up shit to you when you were younger, so you don't know any better.
I don't think it's inherently a parent thing, but sure.
I'm just saying this is one example of the shadow work line of inquiry. You know, like there's so many ways that this goes down. Like, because everyone has their own unique fucking fucked up, you know, like line of fucked upness. But like, but I'm just saying this is a very common one. You know, because like the parents is like because they made you. You know, like.
Yeah, no, but like, no, parents definitely fuck their kids up.
I mean, whether or not they fucked your kid, they fucked you. Like, whether or not parents fuck their kids up, they still gave birth to them. So even if their kids get fucked up down the line that had nothing to do with their parents, either way, the parents are responsible because they made the kid in the first place. So the blame still ultimately is going to go. First of all, it goes to God, all because you know, like, goes to your parents who are basically your God. They made you.
Jesus.
Yeah. So that's the whole thing with like alignment. So I think people should be aligned. That's which is why I started.
I feel like you should give them the gratitude PSA as well. I think that's a good one.
Gratitude, fucking. Yeah. Honestly, I'm so tired of it. Now I just want to purposely like be like, just be ungrateful. You know,
what? Just blame. That was a good one. Get the fuck out.
No, it's because it's like I'm so fucking.
No, people should be grateful. They should.
No one's listening. You know, every time I try to like promote gratitude, someone's like, actually, no, that's not true. It's a minority of people that disagree with gratitude.
Yeah, they're dildos. The fuck would disagree with gratitude?
I mean, if they have like, let's say they went through some bad shit. It's like, what, you want me to be thankful for getting raped you could have my father murdered?
Hold on, you could be thankful for like a whole bunch of other stuff besides that.
Yeah, you're right. Like
you don't have to.
Like, I'm thankful for the cigarette. I'm thankful for a beer. I'm thankful for, honestly, just being able to like breathe some fresh air. You know, like
like there's so many things you could be grateful for. You don't have to, hyperfixate on like your rape.
Well, okay. So the reason
why,
like
your father getting raped before he dies,
like
or
like
your father raping you, then like trying to kill you, but then suiciding himself.
Okay,
in like a fit of shame because he couldn't kill you, but like he really wanted to, but he wasn't strong enough, even though he was strong enough to rape you. That's weird. Yeah, like you could just be grateful,
Okay, so the reason why I harp on about gratitude is for two reasons. The first reason is a simple one, is that gratitude is accessible to anyone at any time at any place. Like, no matter who you are, no matter what you're going through, you're able to be grateful about something, which is what Dimitri just pointed out.
Okay, also I do want to point out that the reason your father wasn't able to kill you after he raped you is because he spent all the energy to rape you, at which point he was like too tired to actually follow through with the murder.
He's out of chakra.
Yeah, or whatever.
I
think that's an important note.
He ran out of mana.
Yeah.
All right. So, one, it's accessible to everyone. Number two, for some reason it rubs people the wrong way, and I think this is a fucked up sign. I don't like it. I don't like that when I mention gratitude, people get like pissed off, or like it agitates people. Like, why?
Why indeed?
Why do people react so like abrasively to the idea?
Why don't they want to be grateful? What's the deal with gratitude?
No, I mean it's funny, but it's serious.
No, I agree though.
But it's funny.
I'm being ironic.
No, I mean
being ironic.
I don't know what to feel because you're right. It is funny. It is fun. It's really funny, but I don't know. It's upsetting. I'm like, what the fuck?
People have fucked up shit happen to them, but they have good things too. Dude,
what the fuck? Like, how do we spread gratitude? Like, what do you think is a better way to spread gratitude? Use that big brain of yours.
Gratitude is like your ass cheeks. You should spread them. Is that too edgy?
The only way to spread gratitude, honestly, is to embody gratitude yourself.
The only way to spread gratitude is to embody gratitude.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Am I wrong?
thank you for coming on the show, Dimitri.
You are very welcome.
Yo, Dimitri, yo, gratitude. I'm telling
Gratitude.
you. Gratitude.
Yeah. That's how you mean. That you just say some really dumb shit.
Is there a band called Gratitude?
No.
Is there a band called Thank You?
No. You know, I'm gonna write that down for my band name list.
Nah.
Yeah.
Dude, no.
If my band agrees.
Is there a band called Thank You? That's a sick band name. Thank You.
There's a song called Thank You.
What about a band though?
I haven't heard of that one.
That's a good fucking band name, isn't it?
Okay, I'll put both down.
Thank You and Gratitude.
I'm just gonna put down Gratitude. I like Gratitude better.
Gratitude? Is that really a band name?
No.
I mean, was that really not a band name?
I don't know. Like, this is where you go on Spotify and look it up. There's probably songs called Gratitude.
If there's a band called Gratitude, I would be very impressed. Like that's a very heavy name to.
I'm gonna run it by my band, which doesn't have a name yet.
Don't you think that's a little heavy for though? Like to name your band Gratitude, like that's a heavy name.
I'm pretty grateful for them, so I'll take it.
Okay. Shit. Every band would be like, "Fuck! Why did I think of that?"
Because they're well. Hold on, bands represent a whole bunch of shit. All right, like you may not be like a gratitude centered band.
You could be ironic. Like
Yeah.
the drummer could be the bassist could be the most ungrateful person ever.
That's me. I'm the bassist.
Oh. The guitarist could be the most ungrateful person ever.
I'm pretty sure he's grateful. I think we're all pretty grateful.
All right, so maybe
As
the band
far
should
as-
be called Gratitude.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the worst.
Gratitude's a good band name. What about Thank You? You don't like Thank You though? Thank You's a good band name.
Nah,
Thank You's a sick band name.
you could make that bad.
Thank You. Gratitude.
Yeah.
On tour in Canada.
Is it your birthday yet?
No.
Okay.
We still got 15 minutes.
Do you want to go for the 15 minutes?
No, we don't have to go for the 15 minutes. We could get food or something.
No. We could do 15.
Yeah, we could do 15 minutes then.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll probably roll a little birthday joint. Birthday joint.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean,
Okay, so Thank You is a good band name. Gratitude apparently is the better one.
look. At the end of the day, like, it's what you vibe with. Like any band name could work.
No.
in Any band.
I'm sorry. I'm
If
just
you
trying.
vibe
I'm
with
just trying to remember. I'm just trying to imagine, not remember. Imagine a world that has a band called Gratitude.
Yeah.
Like, cause no one that like, yo, did you hear the new song by Gratitude? Like,
Yeah.
that's crazy. You know,
Yeah.
like, I would bug out. I'd be like, what are they called? Gratitude.
Okay, so strategy to spread gratitude. Name a band after it and
That's a good
have the band become successful.
Because like, even no matter
Yeah.
what the songs are about, just spreading the name Gratitude. It's like, oh yeah, you listen to Gratitude.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, you're spreading it.
Yeah.
That's damn. It's good.
But
It's a
also-
heavy name though. Gratitude. Fuck.
Yeah. Well, look, Nirvana fucking was named after Nirvana. They got very successful,
You're right. Gratitude is
and
actually
they fucking spread Nirvana.
fuck.
Like,
Gratitude.
yeah.
Gratitude. That's a good band name, dude. You should.
I'm running by him. If you came up with it, you heard it here first.
Fuck. I hope no. You gotta do it. You can't do it to all together. You can't rush it. You gotta do it at the right time individually.
What do you mean?
Like the band members, you gotta be like you can't like announce it before the whole band because it's gonna.
No.
You gotta do it individually.
No,
Like
every week in my band, I read the band name list, which is
Oh.
the list of names either I came up with or were suggested to me throughout like the time between the last practice and the current practice. And you know, some of them.
what are the contenders to Gratitude?
Oh, I have a list.
No, I mean no. Don't take that list. Just name the ones that stick out in memory.
I also have a list for that. Well, the runner-ups I would say are. I don't want to necessarily prioritize anyone's names,
Okay.
but I will try to remember them as
Not
best.
in this order.
Yeah. We had Murder Deli,
Okay.
Hawaiian Nightmare,
Okay.
Eyelashing,
Okay.
Evil Ghost Girl,
Okay.
Sal's Pizza.
Okay.
Go figure. Let me remember other ones. Oh yeah, Glory Hole Guillotine. I came up with that one.
Yo. That's it? Well, actually, there's probably
No,
more.
there's
a lot
like
more.
way more.
Yeah, so I think it should be gratitude, but spelled with as attitude, but with a gr in the beginning. So
That is how you spell gratitude.
I thought there's an extra T in attitude compared to gratitude.
I don't know.
I think gratitude is GRATIDUDE, whereas attitude is ATTITUDE.
Yeah, but you remove the ATT with a GR.
What?
You're not gonna do GRT.
No, I'm saying you do GRATTITUDE instead of GRATITUDE. Because gratitude only has one T after GRA. Attitude has ATT, so it's gratitude.
That doesn't seem to make sense.
What do you mean?
No, because the GR would replace the ATT.
All right, so attitude, ATT.
Yeah.
Okay, attitude.
Yeah.
Now, gratitude. See? Only one T. So if you spell attitude.
No. Where you think.
See? You know what I mean? Like it's attitude, but put GR in front of it instead. This is just gratitude. Now I'm going to show you.
No. There's the second T.
Attitude. See, look. Put GR in front of attitude.
A settled way of thinking or feeling about someone.
See? Because attitude is spelled with ATT. So just put GR in front of ATT.
No, but that T is in attitude.
What do you mean?
It's GRATIT. This is ATTIT.
That's what I'm saying. It'll be fun. It'll be a clever play like GRATTITUDE.
No. just the regular word's fine.
Oh, so you just don't want to do anything fun, is that it?
Yes, I hate fun.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no. Okay. I understood what you're saying now. Because you're not replacing
it's
the
incongruity, man.
You're not replacing the AT. You're putting a GR in front of the AT.
Yes.
So it'd be like GR-attitude.
Yeah, so it's like
as opposed because I thought you were like just replace the GR the AT with a GRA.
No.
Yeah,
I said
okay.
attitude with the GR.
Okay.
Isn't that cool?
No.
Wow.
But I understand what you're saying.
I think it's cool. Like a gratitude attitude.
Yeah. I feel like it's already in the word enough that you don't really need.
Come on. You could do this. You could afford an extra T.
Okay. I will.
What you do is like you got.
I will pontificate.
No, this is what you do. You first present the regular word gratitude, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, that is pretty neat." And then you say, "Oh, but you could add an extra T, and then you could take credit for that."
Dude, okay, like the amount of effort it took me to understand that might take them even more.
Oh
effort.
my god!
It's
not that complicated.
Or I will explain it well enough that they'll understand it right away, and then I'll feel like a dumbass for not understanding it right away.
You write on the whiteboard, it's like, I got an idea for the band name, but bear with me. And then you write the word attitude, right? It's like, look at that, but that's not it. And then you write GR. It's like, gratitude, yeah.
And they'll be like, okay, we're going to go with Sal's Pizza.
Oh my god. Maybe they want Sal's Pizza then.
Maybe they do.
Maybe your band should be called Sal's Pizza.
No.
Why?
No.
So go with gratitude then. Gratitude. Well, first, I don't know if you. Look, I don't know. Like gratitude's a heavy fucking name. Like that's a heavy band name.
Yeah.
I don't know how I could pull off being in a band called Gratitude. Like that's fucking heavy. Like that's like.
Yeah. Well, you know who else is heavy? My band. Pretty heavy. We're in B standard, buddy.
You know what's gonna happen? Like, if they reject it, just know they wouldn't reject it because the name is bad. They would reject it because they'd be scared of it. They'd be scared of the name. Yeah. I would be scared of the name.
That's what I'm gonna tell them. Be like, you guys are scared.
No, this is it. Like, before you say the name, like, I just want you to know, I'm gonna know you're all gonna reject this name, but you're only gonna reject it because you're afraid. You're not gonna reject it because it's a bad name. You guys are gonna reject this name because at first you won't feel you have what it takes to uphold it. But I want to tell you that you're wrong. Each and every one of you have the strength, the integrity, the courage, and the talent to uphold this amazing name I present to you. Drum roll. Rain does the fucking
I could ask my drummer to do a drum roll.
Yeah. And then you just
okay. I actually gave you a really good idea. Next time I read the band name list, and then every time I read the band name list,
drum roll.
I should just get my drummer to do a drum roll Fuck, I hope I remember that.
And then he
I
has
hope
to,
I remember
and he
that
has to,
this
do, he has to do a light crash. when he's
Yes,
singing.
yes. This is awesome. Oh my god, that would make band name presenting so much more epic.
Well, I mean, because you have a snare. You
Yeah.
have a crash.
Yeah, no, like he's good at drum rolls too. Oh my god. My bad.
Do you have a whiteboard in your space?
No, but
You should get a
we
whiteboard.
debated it.
Why?
I've tried it before. It like never becomes useful.
Really?
So, yeah, I don't know why.
Damn.
We have Post-its.
That works.
Yeah.
What about a bulletin board, like a pin bulletin board?
No, we have a computer.
What?
We usually, anytime we need anything, we just take the computer and just like full screen like a note. Well, not full screen, but like, you know, put a big notepad on screen.
You know what I'm thinking about doing? This November.
Yeah.
I know it's going to be the presidential election,
Yeah.
but I'm particularly stoked about Black Friday.
Okay.
I might want to get a big ass fucking TV.
Okay.
Think I should.
TV's pretty good.
What? No, not for fucking this. For over here, I want to put it like up here and like use it as like a.
No, Taj's artwork is better.
Yeah.
Dude, you should get some bow artwork. I have a bow original. I don't know if you know.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Is it big? You got
No,
a big one?
It's like
No, you gotta get her to do a big one.
listen, she probably does big ones, but I bought what I bought, okay?
No, get a big one.
I was pretty drunk when I bought it. I'm very happy with my purchase.
No, get a bigger one. Get like a huge one.
Okay.
My big regret. My big regret with Taj's painting is I didn't get a big one. I should have gotten a big one.
Also, fun fact, I will advertise this to you and the rest of the podcast viewers / listeners.
What is it?
Okay, there exists a 3/4 life-size nude painting of me.
Really?
Yes.
For art school?
Yeah, my ex-girlfriend did it. And I told her...
Was it a frontal nude or a rear nude?
Frontal nude, obviously.
Was it good?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is she like a photorealistic painting?
Yeah.
Can you show it to me? Like, can you take a picture of it and show me a censored version?
I don't have any pictures of it, but it does. My profile picture used to be like the dick portion of it until Facebook fucking banned it.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah,
You
no,
had a picture-
no, dude, I was so proud of this. I had the dick version, and then remember when like the rainbow like banner thing was going around? I
Yeah.
had that like my dick with the rainbow banner. Facebook banned both of those shits.
Really?
Yes.
They were drawings.
I know.
Damn. Wait.
Yeah. So anyway, I convinced her that she should not sell it for less than 100K. And I hope that sticks. It still exists. It's supposedly in storage somewhere.
Wait a minute. So
So if you have 100K, you could buy a 3/4 life-size nude portrait of me.
was it a painting or a sketch?
Painting.
What?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Like, damn. Was it a big painting?
3/4 life-size.
Oh shit.
It's like this big.
Holy
like,
fuck.
Yeah.
So you have to stand there for like a long time.
Yeah, no, I sat for like 6 hours. And
Did you have your legs crossed?
No.
Oh,
Full dick and balls. Yeah.
damn.
That's what my profile picture was. Like literally my dick and balls painted.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. I like my family was very upset.
Really?
Yeah. My mom was like, Dimitri, I heard like you have like your nude portrait as your profile. She's like, can you like take that down? I was like, no. And then, like my sister was like, yo, I don't want to look at this. And I was like, yeah.
Just feel like it's art.
Yeah, it was like 2015 or something.
Wait. So
Yeah, it's really funny. Yeah, so that exists, and you could theoretically buy it for 100K. Yeah, my whole dream is someday my ex-girlfriend becomes like a famous artist, and like some rich person just buys it, hangs in their living room, right? And then like there's like his rich guests come over, and they're like, "Yo, who the fuck is that?" You're like, "I don't know." That'd be funny as hell.
Are
But
you
I-
into drawing?
Yeah. Well, I was gonna also say the other reason I priced at 100K is so that like none of my friends could buy it until they become very rich.
Yeah, 10K. Yeah, I'll buy. I'll buy.
Yeah, they might buy it for 10K. I had to like make really sure.
Because we're gonna, yo, Dimitri,
Yeah,
we're
they're
just gonna put
just
this. We're gonna
yeah.
hang this up in public, like.
Right, like they could do all kinds of shit with this. And they fucking would. Like they could probably pull together 10K. So I ain't about it.
The worst would be it's like you put it on Kickstarter. It's like help us buy our friend's nude portrait so we can
Yeah.
fuck with it.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's a lot of logistics to this.
Shit, information technology is fucked.
Yeah.
Damn, being an artist is powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I started doing a drawing a day.
Nice.
What I do is I would I would cycle through like a person, place, and a thing, and like they're horrible. But hopefully, because I just started, but hopefully after maybe a year of doing this, they'll get better.
Dude, I'm surprised you don't do a song a day.
That's a good point.
That's how I got good, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was like
No, it's just because I know how to make a song. I don't know how to make a drawing.
yeah, that's fine. But I'm saying like I remember when I started doing like electronic music, I did I forgot what it was called, but it was like there's like a thing.
Kanye West method.
No, it's like a thing where they give you a list for every day of February. That's like a theme you make a song out of.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I tried to do that for like all of February.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Reddit
Yeah.
also had this Battle of the Bands thing.
What?
Battle of the Bands in Reddit. There's a subreddit for it.
Oh.
Every week they have like you sign up and you get randomly assigned a vocalist and a song lyricist and the music producer, and the music producer makes the music. Vocalist provides the singing.
Where's the band?
Just one person.
Oh. So it's like hip hop.
No, I mean you have like what you'll have guys that have access to like the equipment to make like a full, like he
Yeah.
plays the drums, layers that
Yeah.
over his guitar and bass.
Yeah. So I've done a few of those. Well, like one or two. I find it's like the stuff you need.
It's like the stand-up comedy for musicians, like
No,
5
no.
minute stand-up comedy sets.
No, what I find is that the type of music you need to make to win a contest is not necessarily something people will listen to.
It's novelty based.
Well, it's just like a different thing. Like
Speak more on that.
it's hard to explain.
I love saying that. Speak more on that.
I fucking hate it. I hate that phrase so much.
Speak more. Fucking Eric.
Say
Larson.
more. Say more.
Say more.
Say less.
Speak more on that.
We're in a podcast. Say less. Okay. Yeah.
Speak more on that.
Yeah. No, but I do like asking.
Pattern recognition, baby.
I do like asking what do you mean. But okay. So like generally speaking, when you're in a contest, you have to like appease judges
Yes.
or whatever. So your goal is to tailor, or like what ends up happening is you tailor things to the judge's prerequisite. Is it your birthday?
No, not yet.
How much more time I got?
Well, don't worry about it.
Okay.
2
Fine.
minutes away.
Okay. Well, okay.
But keep talking. What were you saying? I'm listening. I'm
Yeah.
gonna get ice real quick. Keep talking.
Yeah. Ice, baby. No one's gonna hear what you just said. Yeah. I was saying like, yeah, you gotta tailor it to judges, which means you're playing to a set of expectations. Like, I think a lot of successful, I'm not gonna say music, but like successful art is something that will like a lot of judges might hate it at first, right? And you'll just not ever win. Like, and you could like look at like historical reviews of like famous artworks or like famous music. Like a lot of people hate it at the time, Oh, actually, that reminds me of another topic, or like another thought I have.
Do tell.
Okay, you know how like there exist, like 10 out of 10 albums from like Pitchfork and
Fuck
like
Pitchfork, but
Anthony
anyway, yeah.
Fantano or
Fuck
like
Anthony Fantano. okay.
reviewers, right? Like, how many of those albums are like relevant a year later?
Hardly none of
Like,
them.
actually,
Yo, it's my birthday, by the way. Cheers.
yay! Happy birthday!
Yay. 33. Same age as
Doing-
Jesus when he died. Hopefully I'll get lucky.
Lucky living or lucky dying?
Both.
I hope you don't die.
yeah, me
Cheers.
too. I hope I don't die too. Anyway, what were you saying?
Yeah, like, yeah, all the 10 out of 10 albums that like reviewers highly praised, like, where are they in a year? Right? Where are they in like 5 years?
No one gives a fuck.
Yeah, why not? Or actually, forget that. I'm saying like, does anyone even listen to those albums on reception?
No.
Like, why not? Like,
Because
And-
music is so oversaturated that
no, but
no
I'm
one gives a
saying, but
fuck.
then like, what albums are they listening to?
Nobody
right?
listens to albums.
Somebody listens to some albums.
Yeah, but mostly it's listening to the full album like full through is a niche activity.
Oh, yeah, okay, I'll
It's
agree
like
with
bird
that.
watching, honestly.
Look, I'll agree with that to some degree, but I'm saying, okay, like, you know, even like a supposedly hit album will have like a good bunch of singles at least, right? Like,
Yeah.
do those songs like end up in the popular charts? Are those songs remembered like 10 years from now?
No.
Like, okay, like consider songs like you can remember from like, let's say like 2015. Probably be like Lady Gaga or some shit, right?
Honestly, it's like prolific hardstyle tracks that DJs just played across the world. So it's like when you went to a big rave back in like 2010 to 2015, like the DJs would come on and it's like you hear that one track and be like, oh, and then everyone who visited even from out of town knew
Well,
it.
that's more niche. I'm saying like in the pop world.
Like popular. Yeah.
Like, can you name
Rihanna,
Rihanna? Yeah, you could probably name a Rihanna track from 2015.
Umbrella.
Yeah, okay, that's a good one.
It's a euphemism for her pussy.
Yeah.
She didn't literally mean umbrella. She meant.
No, I don't believe you on that one.
Are you serious?
Okay, when she said you could stand under my umbrella,
Yeah.
what does that mean? As a euphemism.
You can fuck my pussy and you'll be safe.
No, I think it's like a metaphor for friendship.
Yeah, like safe, friends with benefits, like in my pussy,
No, I don't think
It's okay. You can fall into my arms. Don't need to be alarmed.
Yeah, because she's like your friend. Like
No,
she's like you could
she's
trust
like,
her.
She's like your friends with benefits. Like you could fuck her and.
No, I think it's like the least sexual song.
No, I think it's
don't
very
you're
sexual.
right. Okay. Anyway, the point is, yeah, like, what was that Rihanna album rated by the critics?
I don't know. Probably like. I don't fucking know how music ratings.
I have no
work.
idea either. Like,
How do they work?
Maybe it
Like,
was
what's the
10.
what's the
Maybe it was
metric
like
that-
8. Maybe
what-
it was like 6.
What's the
I
metric
really
they
have no
judge
idea.
it on?
I don't know. I don't even know what album it was on, technically speaking.
Because pop music is hard to judge.
Yes and no. On the other, like, on some sense, like, its appeal is instantaneous. But yeah, I guess you won't know what sticks.
No, I mean pop music is popular because it's popular.
Yeah, but like, you don't know what sticks, right? Like, things could be popular.
No, I
in the
do know
moment.
what sticks. What sticks is
Well,
something.
sorry, you don't know what's gonna stick.
Yeah, I do. Something that vaguely passes as not too discordant, but you just play it over and over and over and over and over again, and
No.
it'll stick.
Disagree. There's plenty of songs that are played over and over that just like got forgotten about.
Like what?
I don't know. I forgot about it.
That's a good point. No, I think that's what I'm saying. That you forgot about it because they don't keep playing it.
No, but like you're confusing cause and effect.
Also,
Like I'm saying, like it could be a song that people were pushing. They got played over and over, but no one liked it, or like no one remembered it. So then just fell
can you
off.
remember a song that was played over and over that nobody fucking liked?
No, that's what I'm saying. Because you can't. By definition. It's
That's not true. You
self-fulfilling.
could play a song over and over that nobody liked.
So, like, I'm saying, like, yeah, there's songs that, like, no one liked, but it's catchy.
Okay, give me an example.
Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. I don't think anyone liked the Macarena.
I was too young for that shit.
I was very young for that shit, but I did not like it.
I was too young. I was
Did
like
not like the
really.
Macarena.
I was younger than you,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I was already like. I think I was in kindergarten when I heard that.
I
shit.
think it's one of those songs that, like, the force of its cringe was so spectacular that no one could, like, not play it for some reason.
What about Who Let the Dogs Out?
You know, you want to know a secret about that song?
What?
It was them.
What?
They let the dogs out.
Did they eat them too?
Were they Haitian?
Aren't they?
I don't know. Maybe you're right.
Were they Jamaican?
They wouldn't let the dogs out if they're going to eat them. They just kept them in.
Who let the dogs out? Who
Yeah.
let the dogs out? Was
Yeah.
there one more who after that?
No?
Who let the dogs out? I'm trying to think of another song with, well, not another one. I don't even know if Who Let the Dogs Out was playing.
Okay. Speaking of hits from that era, motherfucking Shaggy.
Was Who Let the Dogs Out a Haitian song?
Oh,
Oh, they're Trinidadian.
Yeah.
My
bro,
mistake.
racist, cancel. No, okay, Shaggy wrote 2 bangers and then just fucking dipped. No one knows who he is.
What did you write again?
You know, the wasn't me. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Wasn't me. Da-da-da-da-da.
No, I don't know that shit.
Wasn't me. Heard the scream again louder. Wasn't me.
What is it called? Wasn't me.
Yeah.
Shaggy, wasn't me. Oh my god.
Yeah. You never heard this song?
Oh, okay.
You fucking heard this.
Yeah. I did
Yeah.
hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his other hit was, Girl, You're My Angel, You're My Darling.
Yeah, I know
and-
that song.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, but he did not become a celebrity. Like, I don't know if anyone knew anything about him.
Yo, you want to hear something funny? Do you remember Akon?
No. Okay, I heard of him, but, like, I don't
You never
remember.
heard of Akon?
No, I have heard of Akon. I just don't remember him. Oh, yeah, he did shit for Africa.
Look back and watch me smack that. All on the floor, smack that. Give me some more.
Oh,
smack-
he wrote that?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Well, that also had Eminem in it, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You
That was
tell
a-
me.
That was a good fuck. Oh, yo, dude. You don't remember that song?
Nope. No.
Smack
I
that.
know. I remember the song. I just didn't know who wrote it.
Okay.
My issue with pop music is I often do not know who wrote it.
I think that was Akon. Smack that. Yeah, it was Akon. That was a good fucking song.
Yeah.
So it was like,
Yeah. No, I know. Yeah.
yeah. So all right. So before,
So dark, the Akon of man.
but then he's like a non-unlocked character. He's like a
Yeah.
locked character.
Yeah.
But anyway, fucking Akon apparently got in trouble because there was like a 14-year-old girl that snuck into the venue at one of his shows and was seen like on stage grinding on him,
Okay.
and he didn't know she was 14.
No, how would he?
And then it's like he gets flack for that. And then a little after that, he writes a song that goes like, "You could put the blame on me. You could put the blame on me. You could put the." You never heard this song?
No.
Oh my god!
I mean, look, I do think it's slightly bullshit. Like,
Blame on me.
Uh,
He's like something about like, oh, I didn't know that girl was 14 years old.
no, okay, no, okay, but hear me out. Okay, don't hear me out.
Started to learn more. It's not a good look.
Things that have not occurred yet. He's a archaeologist. Okay. I'm glad he fell off.
He was good though. He was talented. He had a voice. It's
Yeah.
a strong voice.
Yeah. No, okay, but okay.
I'm waiting for the hook.
There's no hook. He's just
Whatever.
sorry. He's just
Anyway,
upset.
you know what?
No,
Akon.
but hold on. Let me just rant a little. Okay, if you're in a club where like they check IDs and it's 21 plus, it would be weird of you to be like, "Oh, this girl grinding up on me is 14," right?
Why would you assume that?
Yeah, like for real though.
They set him up.
Well, I mean, it's weird because on some level, like you
No, I'm
expect
kidding.
people.
I don't know if they set him up. That was just
No, like
conspiracy
on
theory.
on some level, you expect people to sneak into a 21 plus club,
Yeah.
right? On the other hand, like you can't like
14 is pretty fucking young.
yeah, but like on the other hand, it's like okay, like everyone here should be legal, right? So if I thought they were legal, that's not weird,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
like IDs were ID'd, like
She just happened to. How was that supposed
yeah,
to
like for real though.
That's exactly what he said, though. That was his defense. He was like, how was I supposed to know that
No,
she
but-
was 14 years
But
old?
how would you know? Like, you're in a 21 plus club. Like, why would you be like, oh yeah, the bouncers clearly failed
Yeah.
so hard that it's like a 14-year-old?
This is before Twitter. I think this is before, like, Twitter was, like, a real...
No, but like, I'm just saying, that's like such a weird scenario.
It is
Like,
a weird
that's
scenario.
on the fucking 14-year-old for like sneaking through,
Obviously, yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Like, what are you supposed to do?
Akon shouldn't have gotten in trouble for that. He shouldn't have gotten in trouble for his bad
he
music.
shouldn't have. Yeah, he should have gotten in trouble for that.
Yeah, so...
He should not have gotten in trouble for smacking that.
It wasn't his fault.
Well, I guess it depends.
He didn't do nothing.
It depends on what that is.
Yeah. So honestly, the thing about Akon, his music is like his voice is powerful, but in like not the best way. Like it's like Matt and Kim. Like you know, like Matt and Kim was like
I heard of them, but I don't remember them.
good.
So they're like a one hit, like 2-hit wonder. Wait,
Yeah.
what about Belle and Sebastian? The fuck was that?
Ugh. I don't know.
Oh, dude. Speaking of random like 2000 songs,
Do you like that one chick, Sabrina Apple? Blah blah blah.
what? Sabrina Carpenter?
No, Regina Applebottom or whatever.
Like apple bottom jeans?
No,
loose
I
with the fur?
She was like, you don't know who I'm talking about? She plays the piano and sings.
No.
Shit, I'm gonna have to fucking look this up. Anyway, what were you saying?
Well, okay. What about her? What's
No,
the
I
issue?
wanted to know what you thought about her.
Well,
Oh, is it Regina Spektor?
well, Regina Spektor's.
Yeah,
Yeah, Regina Spektor's fine.
that's who I'm talking about. Oh,
Yeah.
fuck, I'm an idiot. Yeah, you like Regina Spektor?
Yeah, I don't really listen to her, but like I don't think
Really?
she's bad.
I took you guys the kind of guys like when you wake up, the first thing you do is turn on a Regina Spektor song. Like I feel like that's like so your thing.
No, okay. So my alarm clock is "Assassins" by Lightning Bolt.
That's so weird. I always thought you'd wake up and listen to like a Kate Bush song or something.
No,
Really?
I don't know that many Kate Bush songs.
Okay. I don't know. I feel like you know your favorite music would be stuff like Regina Spektor, Kate Bush, Florence and the Machine.
I don't see why you would think that.
Really?
Yeah, what when? I don't.
I'm kidding. I'm just projecting a white girl's taste of music onto you.
I don't. But do listen to "Assassins" by Lightning Bolt. That is
Really?
a good song.
Okay.
Yeah. You know who Lightning Bolt is?
No.
They're like a noise rock duo. It's like bass and drums, but the bass is like a 5-string with like 2 high strings on top of the 3 low strings.
Do you like Motorhead?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Fucking awesome.
Do you like Rolling Stones?
Yeah.
Me too.
What's your favorite Rolling Stones song?
Give me shelter.
Okay. Yeah, I've recently had this discussion with my girlfriend.
About
I think
what?
it's my girlfriend. Yeah. What's our favorite Rolling Stones song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what did they say?
I forgot what she said, but I said "Painted Black."
That's a good one.
But it was in relation to "Give Me Shelter."
She liked. Did she like "Give Me Shelter"?
Yeah.
That's my favorite song.
Nice.
Actually, it's not my favorite song. I'm saying it's like I always said if there was a song like I have this all planned out. Like if I was in like a movie where I was sword fighting ninjas and shit.
Yeah.
So I have the first song, like a fight song. I would want a song that would be like it's a song by Roger Miller. What are those things?
Okay.
Goes like, what are those things with big black wings circling and descending up overhead?
So you imagine yourself in a movie directed by Quentin Tarantino.
Anyway, so I do that, right?
Is what you're saying.
And then there'll be the middle scene. There'll be like a fight scene where I'm like fighting ninjas, and it'll be Ace of Spades by Motorhead.
Hell yeah.
And then the final fight scene where I'm like surrounded and I die, it would be "Gimme Shelter" by Rolling Stones. And that's the song I die to. So Rolling Stones would be my death song.
Okay. Yes.
That's I have it all
Okay,
planned
but
out.
I'm gonna recommend a more obscure Motorhead song that isn't Ace of Spades.
What?
You ever heard "See Me Burning"?
No.
Check that one out.
Actually, you know what? Instead of Ace of Spades, I would want "Amoeba" by Adolescence to be my fight song. You know, like my middle fight song.
I don't know that one.
What?
I don't know that song.
Or even my first song. You don't know "Amoeba"?
No.
It's like, you ever play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2?
Yes. No. I played 3.
It's a song by Adolescence. It goes like "Amoeba." Yo, you would love this
Okay,
song.
so then you just went from Quentin Tarantino to Scott Pilgrim.
No, was that Scott Pilgrim? Was that in Scott Pilgrim? I don't
No,
think so.
but I'm saying that would be like more of the Scott Pilgrim.
No, this is real. Like, this is raw LA punk. Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm
Adolescence.
saying. Like Tarantino wouldn't do that.
Amoeba?
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, that's a great song. I would love to see that in a fucking. I would love to hear that in a Tarantino movie.
He probably wouldn't though.
Did you see the movie Baby Driver?
Yes. Well, that's the same director as Scott Pilgrim.
Really?
Yeah, Edgar Wright.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Shit.
So I called it.
Did you like that movie?
Yeah, it was
For real,
all
for
right.
real?
It was all right.
Did you like it better than Scott Pilgrim?
No.
Scott Pilgrim was a good movie.
Yeah.
I think they picked a good lead for it.
Dude, it was the only good thing Brie Larson ever did.
That's cold.
No, I'm right. Fuck
She didn't do anything else good, really?
Well, then she went on to do fucking Captain Marvel.
Yeah, whatever. I don't care about that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, she was so much cooler than Scott Pilgrim.
She had to do. There was one other thing she did.
She did that song by Metric, and then she did it like better than Metric.
Yeah, but she was
Fucking
also,
respect.
She was also in something else that
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm pretty sure she had other good movies.
No. I don't know if I liked it even, but she did something else that was big. That wasn't.
Yeah.
What was it though?
I don't know.
Fuck, it's gonna bother me.
Okay.
Yeah, Amoeba by Adolescence. You guys have to check it out.
Okay. Also check out Lightning Bolt. Wait,
Lightning Bolt.
you ever seen that video?
21 Jump Street. All right, that's what I was thinking of. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a stupid fucking movie,
No,
but it was
ever
actually
see-
good.
You ever seen that YouTube video where they're like LARPing? The guy's like, Lightning Bolt! Lightning Bolt! And he just throws shit at the guy.
No, but that's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's funny.
That is pretty
That's
funny.
a classic one.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I love it. Actually, not. I don't love it. It's terrible when like you get like engineer nerds who have like the technological prowess to really fuck with each other.
Yeah.
Like to create something where it's like you open a door and suddenly like some crazy hydraulic like fucking thing pops out at you and like like you push you all the way back.
Well, dude, okay, have you ever heard about like the MIT pranks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like like where they put the fucking cop car on the roof.
Yeah,
and they don't
like
know how they
shit
did
like
it.
that, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's nerds fucking with things.
That's scary. That's terrifying, actually.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is what I was saying, but I think I also said that before. I was like, it's comforting to know that people hyper focus on firearms without really realizing that if you really want to kill someone, there's way more creative and subtle ways to do so, like than guns, honestly.
Yeah. Well, that's why whenever people are like, "Oh, America has so many gun deaths," they specifically say gun deaths
Yeah,
and
compared
not
to
murders.
deaths per capita.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Did I tell you my other conspiracy? Okay. You know how everyone's like, oh, there's like a trans suicide epidemic?
Is there?
Okay. Any article you will read about trans suicides, they will talk about suicides, right? And they will list statistics of like various demographics committing suicides.
Mostly
And
white
then
dudes, honestly.
what?
Mostly white dudes.
Sure. And then when they come to the trans people, they will list suicide attempts. They will never list the number of suicides
What do you mean? Like, why not?
because there's not that many.
Oh, so they don't actually kill themselves?
No, they just try to.
Oh. Isn't that a good thing, though?
Yeah, but it destroys the narrative.
Oh, that, like, the trans people are suicidal?
Yeah, well, they are suicidal in the sense they attempt it.
Oh, but they don't actually follow through with
No,
it.
they do not.
Well, I guess that's kind of worse in a way. Cause
Well, but like the whole thing is like, oh, you gotta like, acknowledge the trans people or blah, 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 because they might kill themselves.
but they don't actually
They
do
do
it.
not actually kill themselves.
Oh. Shit.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. Like,
No, that's a straight up conspiracy. Like every single article you encounter will do this.
well, I mean, that's
Check it out. It's weird.
I mean, being trans is like ultimately a defeated position no matter how you cut it. It's like if I
you
don't kill
cut it.
if I do kill myself, I just feed into the narrative where it's like it's bad for you and you end up killing yourself.
Yes.
And if I don't kill myself, then it's like they're lying about me and
Yes.
that's fucked.
But they are lying about them.
Checkmate.
Yeah.
Just don't do it, guys.
No, what you do is you say you attempted it.
Oh, okay,
And then
yeah.
you just add to like they're in danger because they keep trying to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, I mean, like I said, like most of the people who are really against like queer and trans acceptance narratives are really parents, right?
Maybe.
Because those are the ones that they don't maybe not on a conscious level, but they viscerally do care on like a
Yeah.
animal level, like for their
Yeah.
they don't want their kids to be gay. Parents don't want their kids to be gay
Yes, that is the thing.
on a biological level,
Unless they're like really liberal,
or they have
at which
a lot,
point they very much welcome it.
and they have a lot of kids or something,
Well,
or I'm saying, or they have a lot of kids.
well, it's actually an interesting thing because, like, generally speaking, if you're liberal, you supposedly do not want kids, right?
yeah,
Both for like global warming reasons
Yeah,
and
yeah,
LGBT reasons and financial reasons.
socialist reasons.
Like, so if you have kids already, or like if you have kids and you're liberal, that's like relatively unique.
If they become gay, then it's like damage control for you because you fucked up already as a liberal.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I don't think like the question of whether or not like liberal propaganda can turn kids gay is a strange one. Like, I don't know if that works or not.
Liberal propaganda, can it turn kids gay? Well, here's what I think can really turn people gay. Like, you take a young boy and you bombard him with sexual imagery that's so fucking perverse, that's so fucking like
Hot.
stimulating and hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
However, you don't give him the right tools and the right avenues to actually express that onto real life women that he so desperately desires at this
Yeah.
point. But then what do? You also provide an environment at the same time of boys who are willing to take it up the butt and be more feminine and maybe even identifies the opposite gender.
There's not that many, but okay.
But not even identifies the opposite gender, but also just, do
Yeah.
sexually questionable, like, queer things. And I don't know if that's like a conspiracy because you could see it happening.
Yes.
Like, this is like clearly
Yeah.
evident, like you're like,
Yeah, that's what I don't think it is a conspiracy. I mean, rather it's like it's not a false conspiracy; it's
No.
a true conspiracy.
it's more like an agenda.
Like
It's
they
an
are
agenda.
trying to do that shit. But anyway, I was gonna say, okay, there's like Jocko Willink and David Goggins.
Yeah.
Okay, what if there was like a porno of like Jocko Willink fucking David Goggins, or David Goggins fucking Jocko Willink in the butt? Would
That'd
that
be
be hot as
terrifying.
fuck?
That'd be terrifying.
No, that'd be so hot. Come on.
That'd be scary.
Just two fucking Navy SEALs, just raw dogging each other's ass. Like,
That's scary. Cornholing each other.
No, come on.
It's like Optimus
Come
Prime.
on, why? That would be like the most manly fucking
It's like
shit.
Optimus Prime Megatron.
Yeah, except they're real people.
Yeah. Fuck, that's scary.
Why is that scary?
It's like Clash of Titans type shit.
Okay, well, who do you think is more likely to top? Jocko Willing or David Goggins?
Top?
Yeah.
David Goggins?
No,
Because that man's a psychopath. That dude, like, he's crazy.
Mm.
David Goggins does, like, every single day, he probably sprints like 20 miles with
Yeah.
weights on and shit.
You see, you think that's bottom energy?
No, top energy.
Okay, top energy.
He doesn't do that just to be bottom. He doesn't
No?
he doesn't do all that just to
Wow.
be beta.
Wow.
For anybody.
Well, hold on. Bottom doesn't mean beta.
I'm just saying Jocko Williams would take bottom.
Willings. Yeah.
He's a listener. He's a cup.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'll run this.
Jocko is a wand. In tarot, there's the wand, the cup, the sword, and the pentacles.
Yeah.
And between Jocko and David Goggins, they're like the cup and the wand. The wand is David Goggins. He's the fucking. He's the can do. We're gonna do this, and I'm a self starter.
Yeah.
Whereas Jocko Willink, what is a cup? He's like, I receive the wisdom, receive the knowledge, receive. So yeah, David Goggins would be top.
Okay.
Willick would be bottom.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah, that's just the vibe I get out of both of them.
Yeah. Fun fact. Usually when I ask these questions, I then forward them to my friends. And then they're like, what are you, stupid? Like, this person would be whatever.
This is just what I think.
No, like, I remember when I was like, oh, who's better at sucking dick, Harris or Clinton? Oh, no, sorry. Michelle Obama or Kamala Harris. They asked this to my friend. He was like, you
Kamala
fucking
Harris.
Yeah, he's like, you fucking retard. Like, Kamala Harris is like known for sucking dick. Like, she's obviously the better one.
Kamala Harris.
And I was like, damn it. Shows me. Okay. Joe Rogan and who else? Well, if I say Lex Friedman, it's obviously going to be Lex Friedman bottoming. Like,
between Joe Rogan or
Chris Williamson. They probably just wouldn't do it. They just probably wouldn't do it.
Joe Rogan would be top.
Well, yeah, because he's older.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
the bear.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, who would Joe Rogan bottom for?
Shit, that's a good question. I don't know any podcast.
Andrew Huberman.
I don't know who that is.
Don't worry. No, you probably wouldn't. Andrew Huberman would probably bottom for Joe Rogan.
Maybe Sean Ryan.
The fuck Sean Ryan?
He's this other former Navy SEAL.
Okay. Okay, so it's got to be at least a Navy SEAL.
Yeah. He was he did one of my favorite interviews. Well, two of my favorite interviews. One was this with this firefighter who was stationed at Antarctica.
Yeah.
And he was contracted under Raytheon.
There's fires in Antarctica.
Yes, and for the reason being because he was directly contracted by Raytheon.
Okay.
And Raytheon had facilities there. Now, what the fuck kind of facilities would Raytheon have in Antarctica, US?
Cold ones.
Yeah, very cold.
Very cold.
But apparently they were working with enough technology to cause fires.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So this guy came out as a quote-unquote whistleblower.
Yeah.
And apparently Raytheon in Antarctica was working on technologies.
Yeah.
They function kind of like active denial systems. You ever heard of that? ADS?
No.
So imagine like a truck, like
Yeah.
pulling up in front of like a country, like a third world country that was in
Yeah.
the middle of a coup,
Yeah.
right? And there was like a angry mob with machetes and AKs.
Yeah.
So they have this truck with a gigantic like emitter,
Yeah.
a sonic emitter,
Yeah.
and it emits a certain frequency. You
Yeah, I
can't-
know that.
You can't hear what the
like
negative.
fucks it up.
Yeah, and you get scared.
Yeah.
You literally feel fear, like
Yeah.
sheer terror, without realizing
Yes.
why. Your body would vibrate really fast and be like, "Oh, I gotta get the fuck out of here."
Yes.
So it's that, right?
Yeah.
But imagine that where you don't need a truck and you don't need to put it in the proximity. Like
Yeah.
you could target from this point anywhere in the world to any person.
Sure, well-
Precision, like precision targeting.
Why would you need to do that in Antarctica? I feel like that makes it like way harder.
Because it's hidden.
No, like you could hide it anywhere.
No, it's well, yeah, but also it does other things.
Okay.
It doesn't just do that, but it also
Wait, what is it? It's like a device?
a facility, a multi-purpose facility directed device, not just a weapon. It's also a tool, but on paper they call it like a device that observes neutrinos within the atmosphere. But the only reason why they
It
would
sounds like the HARP machine.
yeah
But the HARP
yeah.
machine is not in Antarctica.
No, it's not. It's not the specifically explicitly
Right.
HARP machine, but it employs that specific kind of
Oh.
like use case.
Yeah.
But except apparently this is way more hush hush, and it's in Raytheon, and this kind of energy directed weapon can also be used to apparently induce earthquakes and natural disasters like tsunamis.
Yeah, that's also like what the HARP machine supposedly does.
Scary shit though, you know, like because you know if you could conceptualize it, like some sick fuck out there has the resources, like
No, I don't think this is possible.
no.
No. Like first off, like in order to run this shit on Antarctica, you need like a lot of energy.
Yeah.
I don't think they have a lot of energy. in Antarctica.
Isn't it on a pole?
No,
No,
it's not on the South Pole. That's what you mean.
Antarctica.
No, it's not.
Oh,
Like the part that where the base is like not that close to the South Pole. It's like where you'd start if you want to go there,
yeah.
but it's like pretty much on the coast as far as I know.
There could be oil,
Yeah.
and you could easily create something nuclear, like nuclear powered.
Okay, so fun fact, I actually worked with a guy who went to Antarctica like every year. He was hired as an engineer to like fix random shit there.
Really,
Yeah.
a secret location.
No.
Oh,
It's like very normal. He'd tell me a bunch of stories. He'd be there for like a month or two because usually like in the rest of the year it's like a skeleton crew.
okay.
And it's only in the summer they could do experiments. And like apparently like you have to fly to Australia, and then they fly you to Antarctica in a C-140, like a big ass fucking plane.
You got like a cargo plane. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not like
Yeah.
rows of passenger seats. You're like seated on the wall.
yeah, like
Yeah,
yeah, it's like real military hours.
yeah.
It's crazy.
I want to ride in one of those
Yeah.
before I die.
And I think he told me a bunch of stories, but the only story that comes to mind right now is he told me like there was a scientist that got killed by an orca whale
Cool.
because they were like on the edge of the shore, of, like the ice, doing experiments, and like I guess the orca like mistaken them for a penguin, so they like tried to eat them, like drag them in the water.
He
They're like,
drowned.
wait, this isn't like a penguin, so they like let him go. But like
Yeah, but
by
he
that
drowned.
time, it was like too late.
Hypothermia.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
0 degree,
Yeah.
like negative degree water.
Dead.
Yeah, game over. Like, yeah,
Damn.
yeah.
It's probably not the worst way to go though.
It's up there. But like, yeah, like some crazy shit out there.
I think the worst
Oh,
way.
he also told me there was a bunch of billionaires that gather to play bridge in Antarctica, like every year.
That's fun.
That's like their thing.
Okay.
Yeah, they're just like old. They
The
just go
billionaires?
there and they
Okay.
just like play bridge in Antarctica.
I mean, that sounds fun. I would rather do like Dungeons and Dragons or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go figure.
And then put up like some heat torches.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Shit. That gives you some ideas.
Yeah,
I want to go to Antarctica.
there's not much there.
Do you think we'll have more like commercial level like submarines or aircrafts, like stuff that may not be able to fly like really high, but like kind of go like at least like above the level of above 6 feet?
What?
like flying vehicles that could go above 6 feet, at least.
We have flying vehicles that go above 6 feet.
No, like commercially available that you could like passenger vehicles.
We have that too. You could buy a plane and fly it.
Yeah, but okay. How about like something that's like in the $10,000 to $30,000 range?
I wouldn't trust it.
Yeah.
No. Like,
if someone really came out with it, do you think like eventually a lot of people would buy it?
no.
No.
Okay, flying cars are bullshit. Did I ever go on this round?
What if they weren't flying? What if they were just like powered by like some weird magnetism technology?
So then it would be 6 feet.
What?
Then it would be 6 feet.
What do you mean?
Like, they wouldn't go that high.
Yeah, so what? That's still pretty. 6 feet is pretty significant.
No, but I'm saying like it'd basically still be a road.
Yeah,
Right?
just
They wouldn't
like,
be able to go over terrain.
It would just be like one. What do you mean it wouldn't go over terrain?
Like if you need magnets,
Oh yeah,
you can't like
then,
fly over a forest.
You could fly over cars beneath you.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Like not in any significant sense.
Yeah, sure. You could create another dimension of traffic.
Maybe. I guess. How would you prevent the bottom cars from like doing shit?
What do you mean? The bottom cars have to run on their own polarity.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, how would you magnet a whole ass car without affecting the car below it? I don't think that's
Maybe you have
possible.
two rails, like one on the top, one on the bottom.
That's like the same as building a bridge on top.
Well, you already have the highway, so what harm would it be to have something on top of it?
That's what I'm saying. You have to build it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it would
Oh
have
yeah, you're right. That's like a lot.
it would have to support the weight, and then have to be like energized.
That's a lot of fucking.
Yeah.
Which is why self-driving cars are such a pain in the ass in America in specific. Because
Well,
what?
I don't think they're a pain in the ass more in America than not. If anything, I argue they're less a pain in the ass in America because we have so many highways. Like, go make a self-driving car in Europe. Drive through like their fucking bullshit streets. They're all stick shift too. Like, you can't have a stick shift self-driving car.
I like stick shift. Stick shift is
Yeah.
great.
You drive a stick, yeah.
Yeah. Too bad more people don't.
Fun fact: Chris drives stick.
Yeah, everyone
You're
should learn
welcome.
how to drive stick.
Yeah, but like electric cars obviously don't have stick.
Yeah. But I also know how to do a wheelie on a bicycle. Okay, so I'm not just
He's
about.
just bragging.
I'm not just about motor vehicles. Okay, I also like
Fixed gear bicycles.
not just any bicycles, a fixed gear bicycle.
Fixed gear guys.
But I also own a regular bicycle. You know.
Yeah, he owns multiple bicycles.
Actually, on my regular bicycle, I'm thinking about putting a basket on it so I could put my cat in it, and I could also go on pizza and beer runs. I could just slap the pizza on the basket with the
Front basket or rear basket?
front basket, right?
Okay, yeah,
That's better.
You'd want front, yeah.
I'll get a nice, decently sized one, and I'm also thinking I'll get bungee cables.
Yeah,
So
of course.
yeah, so I could yeah. But maybe I should also get a rear one.
Well, rear ones work different.
Yeah, I want the
It's
side.
hard to get on.
I want the ones where it's like
Yeah,
actually
They're
yeah
called panniers.
yeah, where it's like on the side of the wheels.
Yeah.
I also want fenders, maybe.
Do you want to put the lotion in the basket?
You might as well just build a whole fucking new bike like a Surly or
it
something.
sounds like you want a touring bike. That's what that's called.
That's some shit you could like go to the farmer's market with, get a whole bunch of groceries, and
Yeah, you ever done bike touring?
no, but
Or like bike packing?
No, I've ridden one of those bikes. Have you?
Yeah,
Yeah, you like
a little
it?
bit.
It's fun. Sounds fun.
One of my neighbors goes bike packing. She like invited me, and then I like never went.
I mean, I've seen people try to. Well, I had this one friend who went cross country on a bike, which is crazy.
I'd love to do that.
Yeah,
It sounds so fun.
he did it on a nice fucking bike.
Yeah,
it was,
I bet.
it was like
They're usually expensive.
I mean, it wasn't one of the bikes you'd expect to do it on, like a touring bike. It was like a Jameis road bike.
Yeah, those are good for it. Yeah,
I mean-
that's a touring bike.
Yeah. It seemed more like a road racer, but it was still like
Yeah, you could equip a racing bike with touring gear.
yeah. You just need something.
Though, like, as long as it's not carbon fiber. I
Yeah.
guess. Cause
No,
that
carbon
wouldn't
fiber
hold
could
up.
explode after
Yeah.
a certain tolerance point or
Yeah.
a certain number of miles.
Yeah.
Aluminum could do it. I would go with steel. If I was like really,
Yeah, I would also go with steel.
if I was going cross country, I'd want steel. Cheap
What do-
steel too.
But what do we know?
If you
No,
had
cheap steel is heavy, and it can like wear out.
no, when I well, it doesn't cost that much to get light steel. You only
Yeah.
need like 4130. Honestly, that's the lowest quality you need. You could go is 4130 chromoly,
Right. Yeah.
and then you could also
that.
go. You could do Columbus airplane steel or aluminum.
Yeah. Okay. Would you want to go on like across like several states on a bike?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I got to build the right bike for it though. I need a road bike
Yeah.
for
It's
that.
half the fun is just building the bike.
Yeah.
Right?
Road
It's like-
bikes are great. I would want to. I'd probably get a road bike complete though, because it's not like building a fixie or a single
No,
speed. Like you
that's
gotta,
a lot more involved.
what?
It's like more involved. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like tensegrity.
Yeah. No, but dude, I would love to just like fucking ride across multiple states on a bicycle
Yeah,
and just, fucking chill, like camp.
like a 23 speed bike or some shit. Yeah,
I don't know how many speeds you'd need.
12 speed.
Like historically, for any bike I've ridden, the most speeds I've used was like 3.
A 3-speed bike. Yeah, that could do.
So it'd be like the highest gear, like the second and third highest gear, and then like one down on the main sprocket.
Well, technically, you can do it on a fixed gear bicycle. Like,
Yeah, just hate your life.
no, I mean, there's benefits
Like
too.
anytime there's a hill.
The biggest problem is like people who do it on geared bicycles, like go cross country. Like if you wanted to go from New York to like California on a road bicycle with gears,
Yeah.
that shit's gonna get fucked up. Like something's
Yeah.
gonna go wrong. Something like it's gonna be the derailleur, the
No.
chain. Something's
It's
gonna,
easy enough to fix though.
yeah, but
Like I've had my derailleurs derail.
I'm just saying the wrong thing could get broken in the wrong place, the wrong time.
Yeah, but there's like enough bike shops in the world. It's not a big deal.
Depends on the bike.
It like if you have like
Like,
regular brakes, regular tires, regular wheels, like it's fine. Regular chain, regular gear shift, like what you need another cable? Okay, it's not a big deal. You could carry that. You need more brakes, carry that. Flat
Chain.
tire, inner tube, like carry that. Like
What if you get hit by a car and your whole frame gets dinged?
that's game over.
Yeah, then you got to get a whole new bike to get home.
Yeah, but like you're probably in the hospital at that point,
What if?
or like that's not maintenance. That's accident.
So to do these trips, clearly what you need is you need enough money to build your primary bike, and you also need just enough money to get a bullshit bike, just to
Yeah.
get yourself to the
You
destination.
also need enough money to like take a hotel every other night because you're just gonna hate your life if you sleep outside.
you can sleep
and
outside.
eat at
fine.
restaurants.
No, it's fine. Sleeping outside isn't that hard.
No, it's not. But I'm just saying, like, I
If you
feel
have
like
a touring bike, you could do it.
Yeah.
You have all your tent shit in one carabiner. That's what it's called.
yeah,
What are they called?
pannier.
Pannier.
Yeah.
Yeah, in one pannier, and then you have
Yeah.
your supplies in another. You got a backpack, a big ass backpack.
Yeah, you ever read Zen, The Art of Motorcycle Maintenance?
No, it was given to me as a gift though by my ex.
You should read it.
I should.
It's like one of my favorite books. It's about philosophy.
Yeah, it is. It really is. I know.
Do you know?
I do.
Do you know what the plot is?
No.
So how do you know?
No. I know this because the person who gave me the book
Yeah.
was very explicit on why I should read it.
Did they read it?
Yes. That's why they offered it to me.
Wait, which ex? If you don't mind my asking.
The Canadian one.
So she's into philosophy?
Yeah. She's into a lot of it. She's into reading in general. She bought me all those Albert Camus books.
And here I thought you were cool.
What do you mean?
Is that you bought of
Well,
yourself?
I told her I liked Camus, and she was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, really?" And one Christmas, like I had a
Okay.
package.
Camus cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love him. He's
Yeah.
cool.
I argue he's the best of the existentialists.
Is he an existentialist?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess. He's a good one, yeah, because he's optimistic about it.
Yeah.
I agree with that philosophy. Even if it is hopeless, it's actually pretty nice. It's like now I don't have to worry about shit.
One must imagine Sisyphus happy.
Yes,
Herder.
it's a good one.
Anyway, I think we had enough.
Yeah. We're about ready to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for joining us for my birthday episode. This will be one of the episodes that's just gonna skip ahead of the line, and I'll post this like tomorrow morning. Probably.
There's a line. There's a queue.
Yeah, I have like 3 episodes queued up.
I don't
this.
know that.
But this one will go up front because it was my birthday,
Yes.
and we're at this time.
I'm glad to join you.
Yeah,
It's very cool.
good looking. Can't wait to go to 7-Eleven and get some fucking munchies.
What are we gonna get taquitos?
No, I'm gonna get a protein bar, a big fucking protein bar, and I'm gonna get maybe a protein shake.
I want taquitos.
There's taquitos there.
Hell yeah.
We gotta get there quick before they go bad.
Yeah, they go bad.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
Anyway, cheers, everybody.
Peace.